Unleashing the power of radio. This is Citi.
28 minutes past 6. A beautiful praise song. It's actually a praise medley. So this is Ampon, C and Isaac. A very popular praise medley. Welcoming you to a wet Friday morning here in Adabraka, Accra. All right. Setting you off on a great experience from now till 10. Hashtag CityCBS. And as we always say, the rains are the ultimate quality test for everything in Ghana. Be it the quality of the roads, even the quality of your driving, the quality of the foundation of your building, the quality of your roof, the quality of your agric system, quality of your public transportation, your drainage, all tested by a few hours of a rainfall. So as you drive, as you commute to work, stay safe, be careful, as we bring you the best radio show in the morning. Thus far, the Lord has brought us. So today, the 21st of March, most places along the coast and inland areas will experience cloudiness with thunderstorms and rain of varying intensities during the forecast period due to a weak storm located over the southeastern portion of the country. So some rains in the Greater Accra and lower parts of Eastern and Volta. Rains also in parts of Central and Western North. And in the day as well, the rains move westwards. But these are low risk rains, not supposed to cause too much damage. Starting off with a news review brought to you by Fidelity Bank. Every goal deserves a chance to flourish, and with hard work, dedication, and a strong belief in yourself, the seed of greatness is within reach. So trust in the journey and understand that we at Fidelity Bank are with you every step of the way. Together, let's turn your dreams into reality. Fidelity Bank, believe with us. And of course, the segment is also sponsored by Total Energies, introducing the Excellium new formula, an additive and rich fuel with its powerful 3-in-1 action that cleans your engine, extends its life, and lowers your fuel consumption. Experience the difference with Total Energies Excellium. And of course, we're sponsored by Piva Beverages as well, with 5 distinct flavors to choose from. We have the orange, the cola, the cocktail, the grapefruit, and the tangy. Grab yours today. Call 0550-032-231. Piva Beverages, a taste you love. It's an interactive show. We're happy to hear from you today. Can anything good come out of Nazareth? And I like the response. Come and see.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-32231. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
Oh, jump on now.
Go. Go me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my go be inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small.
Go, the go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let's go. My body, when you wake up in the morning, and you know the money calling. Oh, you go work. But you know it's out in your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, oh, cause you know it's out in your side. And when you dream, no say I live for you. And when you hustle every day, when you wanna go, anything you do, I live for you. If I believe I'm in your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I'm in your side, fidelity.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Which jumping straight into a newspaper review segment on what you would consider a very interesting Friday morning. Fred Jabano, my colleague, is here with me with the newspapers. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning, Bernard.
It looks like there's going to be a lot of rain in many parts of the country. It's already causing issues.
No, I left home when the rain started. I was asking myself, how will I get to the office?
Whether you should even continue.
To stay.
Or, that's the thing. Once you're in the middle of it, I don't know how dark were the streets on your way here.
Very dark and very windy.
Oh, man. Linda Oklu, we're wishing that you will succeed. So please, if you say you will fix the street lights, you know what to do. And it gets misty in some parts as well. Yeah. And when the rain falls and the wind blows like that, if you don't take care, you can drive into a gutter or something.
Roads
anyway,
are very slippery.
Very, very, very. What are the papers saying this morning?
So the Daily Graphic says Ben Galamsey excavators, activists to advocate. Electrochem seeks $445 million to expand operations. A new Kwehuman Hene pledges to improve agric and other sectors.
The Herald newspaper has a very interesting front page. Documents expose outgoing CDS in Lexus car bribery and overpriced armored vehicles deal. Also, soldiers shield 37 lorry station developer from angry traders. Asla Adekotopo Municipal Assembly members induced with foreign trip. Like everything is in the headline. IGP sparks storm with deputy CID boss appointment, and GBC workers union accused DG of financial mismanagement. Also, finance minister engages 22 bank CEOs on economic stability measures.
Daily Guide. AG okayed raid on ex-BOG governor's house. 10K jewelry stolen. SML disrupted petroleum cartels tax evasion systems. MPP initiates disciplinary action against Adjoa Safo.
Okay.
Police decentralized media engagement, and how and why national security picked up Oketechie Efrifa. That's the Daily Guide.
What about the news center?
The news center says Natoshi rally support for incoming DACF administrator.
Okay.
ASG to invest in Valco. And AMA launches phase 2 of Youth Climate Action Fund, invites applications.
All right, there are a lot more. Let's get into the Inquisitor this morning.
The Inquisitor says Adjoa undresses Nanado, confirms his clearing agent status. GSA local union leaders swerve RTI request.
Okay.
MPA CEO vows to flush out illegal fuel traders, and 78 million allocated to my office woefully inadequate.
This is Felix Kwachio for 78 million Ghana cedis. The Chronicle.
The Chronicle says Afenyo Makin yells, Ghana is becoming a lawless country. Says security operatives invaded and allegedly stole from the ex-governor of BOG's house. Government would ensure equitable access to safe water. Tete Agbotui, that's Gisela, and 2025 budget is for Chop Chop. Dominic Nituo.
So Gisela being the Deputy Minister for Works. The Catholic Standard has an interesting angle on education. Church demands urgent reforms in Ghana's educational system, with a big photograph of some bishops, priests, and attendees of the closing mass of the Second National Education Forum. Also, traditional leaders, schools must collaborate to enhance cultural legacy. This is on page 3. Galamsey is an act of terrorism. We will not spare anyone. Environment Minister, story on page 3 as well. And then African women must nurture self-confidence, be resolute to overcome barriers. Those are also stories inside.
The Ghanaian publisher, Stop Your Hawks Now. Afenyo Makin tells Mahama. Natoshi Bak's successor attends his vetting. MPP drags Taifa Beyonce to disciplinary committee.
Who is Taifa Beyonce?
That's Adjoa Safo.
Now, the Informer is also leading with Galamsey. Minority pledges support for Galamsey fight, urges non-partisan approach. Stop the Rambo-style raid. Security Dawn cautions. And then Nigerian 56 busted in $2 million cocaine haul. Pay us regularly for waste management. Zoom Lion appeals to government. And then yesterday's cholera story. Cholera claims 19 lives in the central region. Meanwhile, the Black Stars, Benzema is urging them to play their hearts out as he interacts with the team. Let me take you online for a few quick headlines. If you go to citynewsroom.com, the lead story there is from the MPP. Raiding Addison's home senseless will lead nowhere. This is John Darko speaking. He is a member of parliament for Suame in Ashanti. Also on that website, Oketechie Frifa was allegedly arrested to aid in Galamsey fight. This is quite interesting. This is coming from the minorities, John Darko. Mahama condemns Boko violence and calls for restraint. MPP refers Adjusafo to DC over media remarks. And then Franklin Kujo says warrants are lawful searches, not to steal food and money. Meanwhile, BOG is warning that MTN Momo is not licensed for cross-border transactions. And then stop airing internal grievances in the media, MPP to members. Now, Channel One News is following up on this story that I think a couple of days ago we did. GAEC lands under threat as private developers encroach. And the problem is that some of these encroachers are getting close to sensitive installations within the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission space. In other headlines, government lays LI to ban mining in forest reserves. So there was a pre-laying a few days ago. Now it's been fully laid. So that's something that's developing. Sremsai says AG's office responsible for raid on former BOG's governor's home. Okay. Meanwhile, GBC Union demand immediate removal of DG. Call for forensic audit. And then Harry Yamson says, I've managed budgets 3 times the size of DACF. I won't fail. And then a contractor on a Sataso bridge says no official contract was issued. My job online this morning is leading with roads. It says we will build the best tolling system in Africa. Road minister is declaring. Then there's a lot on Adjusafo, about 5 stories.
She's been all over the place.
I mean, E-Levy didn't make sense. It contributed to MPP's defeat. This Adjusafo. MPP General Secretary has no locus to shut me up. Adjusafo. A committee has been set up to investigate MPP 2024 elections loss is bogus. Just say Adjusafo is just on a roll, and the party has referred her to a disciplinary committee, and they're also saying that the referral is not to gag, but to sort of
ensure that there's discipline.
I mean, it's all over the place. Meanwhile, 2 Ghanaians arrested for illegal mining in Tano Anua Forest Reserve. The Ghana News Agency this morning. The lead story is also on Galamsey. Galamsey is an act of terrorism. This is Mutala speaking very, very strongly on Galamsey this morning on the GNA's website. Also, Chief Imam calls on Muslims to pay taxes for national growth. And then if you go to Star FM, the lead story, Mahama condemns killings in Boku. MTN Momo not licensed for transactions cross-border, and Kwabena Edubuahin arrested on Kotokatamak. So where are you going to start from this morning?
Start with the daily graphic. Ben Galamsey excavators, activists, advocates, environmental activists have called on President John Dramani Mahama to reconsider the directive not to burn excavators used for illegal mining, commonly called Galamsey in local circles.
Right.
They said the outright directive to confiscate excavators used by illegal miners without creating room for burning the equipment in difficult situations was not deterrent enough, and also had the potential to stall efforts to crack down on the menace. Those who raised the concerns are the convener of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey, Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, Daryl Boso of Darocha, Ghana, and an environmental civil society organization group, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Forestry Commission.
So they are all calling for
Brown,
all
the burning of the excavators.
Now, Mutala Mohammed Ibrahim, who's the Minister for Environment, has likened illegal mining to an act of terrorism and vowed government's determination to deal ruthlessly with perpetrators irrespective of their political affiliations. We will not spare anyone involved in this evil, including INDC members caught in the act. Now, you're speaking at the news conference in Accra on Wednesday, and this is, he said it'd be over on every Ghanaian to join the battle. I wanted to give you the story around the laying of the bill before Parliament. So there's an LI, so the Forest Mining LI 2462 to remove presidential power in granting licenses has now been laid. This story is on myjoyonline.com. It says the legislative instrument seeking to strip the president of the power to grant licenses for mining in forest reserves has officially been laid before Parliament. This comes after the initial attempt to introduce the LI was blocked on Tuesday due to procedural disagreements. Now, the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology, Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, was set to present the instrument earlier in the week. Now, so this laying has been done, which means that there's 21 days that have to elapse for it to mature. Final one on Galamsey. Minorities pledging support for the fight. This is the Informer. Minority Caucus in Parliament has pledged its full support to the government's renewed efforts to tackle Galamsey. And basically, speaking on KSM show, Afenyo Marking promised that his side will give a leg up for the government in its efforts in combating Galamsey. Let me give a quick final one. 2 Chinese, 2 Ghanaians arrested for illegal mining in Tano Anua Forest Reserve. Story on my job online, in a joint operation, the Rapid Response Team of Forestry Commission and the Ghana Police Service have arrested 2 Chinese nationals and 2 Ghanaians for engaging in illegal mining within the Tano and Wia Forest Reserve in Awowin municipality.
And whilst Galamsey is going on, there's a shortage of water in the Tamale metropolis. We are told 680 SHS are the most affected. So the Times says that 6 senior high schools in the Tamale metropolis are the hardest hit by the acute water shortage that has engulfed the metropolis for some time now. The situation, which has persisted for a number of years, has now worsened, compelling students of the affected schools to search for water off campus on a daily basis. This has become disruptive to smooth teaching and learning at the Tamale Islamic SHS, Tamale Girls SHS, Ghana SHS, the Kaupohin SHS, and the Dabukpa Technical Institute and Vitin Secondary Technical School. It has become common to sight students in several parts of the metropolis with their yellow plastic jerry cans, mostly tied to their waist and combing for water.
So is there a reason for this latest shortage of water?
We are not told exactly what it is, but still on water, the Ghana Water Company has been speaking. It says that the government has initiated a wager expansion and rehabilitation project to further increase water production in the western parts of the Greater Accra. When completed, the project is expected to add 100,000 cubic meters, 22 million gallons of water per day, ensuring an adequate supply for the western parts of Accra up to the year 2040.
Well, this is very, very interesting indeed. Let me take you to the BOG governor, former governor's house raid with a lot of different angles. So, AG's office responsible for the BOG governor's raid. This is Shremsai. Deputy Minister for Justice and Attorney General Justice Shremsai has defended the raid on the home of the former Bank of Ghana governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, insisting the operation was conducted under the law. This statement comes in response to widespread criticism following the incident, which occurred on Wednesday, March 19. Now, addressing journalists in Accra, Justice Shremsai took responsibility for the raid on Addison's home, clarifying that the operation was carried out with legally obtained warrants. We take responsibility for the search that happened. We want to make it clear that those searches and the mode in which they were done was in accordance with the law. Warrants were procured and used, Shremsai explained. Now, the minority has strongly condemned these actions, describing them as acts of intimidation and abuse of power. So, for example, if you come to citynewsroom.com, MP for Swami and Counsel for the Minority, John Darko, has criticized the practice of raiding individuals' homes as part of investigations, highlighting its ineffectiveness and potential harm. Speaking on the matter on Channel 1 Newsroom on Thursday, Darko condemned the approach and called for more thoughtful and productive methods in handling investigations. Then he still said the reasons adduced for the arrest of a different person. Now, this is Okatiche, a media personality. He believes those reasons are untenable and troubling. That's what he said in that interview. Then still
connected to that, they said that Ghana is becoming a lawless country. The minority leader, he says the minority leader in parliament, Alexander Afenyomakin, has strongly criticized the Mahama administration for allegedly using state security to intimidate citizens. His comments follow reports of missing valuables, including 10,000 CDs and a jewelry from the residence of the former Bank of Ghana governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, during a search conducted by the National Security Authorities. Addressing a press conference in Parliament yesterday, Afenyomakin alleged that the raid on Dr. Addison's home was led by Richard Jakpa, Director of Special Operations at the National Security Secretariat. He claimed that during the operation, cash left on Dr. Addison's bed, as well as earrings and necklaces belonging to his wife, went missing. Additionally, Afenyomakin revealed that 3 official vehicles were seized from Dr. Addison's compound. The former governor was allegedly contacted by Richard Jakpa and instructed to send his drivers to retrieve the vehicles from the specific location.
Now, there's a lot of stories on Adwoa Safo. I'm just going to run through some. I think Daily Guide has a couple where the MPP DC has jumped in. But I just wanted to give you a flavor of what she's been saying before all of this has come to a head. So, for example, MPP General Secretary has no locus to shut me up, Adwoa Safo. E-levy didn't make sense, contributed to our defeat, Adwoa Safo. committee set up to investigate MPP's defeat in 2024 election loss bogus. Adwoa Safo. I mean, it's just all over the place. So, former MP for Dominic Kwabenya has strongly criticized the committee set up by the MPP to investigate the party's electoral defeat, calling it bogus and lacking credibility. According to her, the committee was deliberately formed to push a specific agenda rather than conduct an impartial fact-finding mission. It's a bogus committee, a committee that is put together just to find certain facts and push a particular candidate away from the candidacy so that they can bring our own and call a credible fact-finding committee, she questioned. If Prof. Michael Quay thinks he has integrity and credibility, I want to see the first page of his fact-finding report explaining why his son Michael Quay Jr. lost the Dominic Kwabenya seat. If he does that with transparency, without bias or prejudice, then I will accept any findings he presents. Now, it's important to know that Adwoa Safo is a former deputy majority leader.
Exactly.
So in the first term of the MPP, when Che Mensah Bonsu was the
majority leader, she was deputizing him.
And then she was also Minister for Gender.
And Minister for Procurement.
Yes, now she says e-levy didn't make sense. She contributed to MPP's defeat. She's been giving a number of interviews. Speaking on Joy News' Paul's show on Thursday, she shared her reasons for opposing the levy, emphasizing how it failed to serve its intended purpose. She actually said in another interview that if she's to mention the name of those who voted against Okwe in the 2021 Parliament Constitution, MPP will not be the same again. She says, I didn't vote for e-levy and I have no regrets about my decision. I refrained from supporting it because I believe it wouldn't benefit the people of Ghana. So basically, in a Say It All interview, she's been really talking.
She also spoke about the school feeding program, where she says that she initiated an audit, which was directed by former President Anado.
Yes.
After the audit, he presented that audit to Cabinet. All of a sudden, she was directed and asked to put the audit away. And the rot at the school feeding program is becoming worse and worse.
Indeed, in relation to that, some of the family members of the predecessor person who ran the school feeding have sort of come to respond to this because, in a sense, it casts aspersions on her tenure. So the family and children of the late Madam Gertrude Koshiga have expressed disappointment in the allegations made by Adwoa Safo regarding the supposed mismanagement of the Ghana school feeding program. A statement issued by Isaac Edu on behalf of the family said, as the national coordinator, their mother carried out her responsibilities with the highest level of integrity, dedication, and selflessness. So there's a lot. Now, what's MPP saying to Adwoa Safo?
The New Patriotic Party has initiated disciplinary actions against former Member of Parliament Kwabena Sarah Adwoa Safo following some utterances she made against the party in her recent media interview. The decision comes after her comments on Joy News, the Paul show, which the party leadership view as direct contravention of an earlier directive prohibiting members from discussing matters that could create disaffection and unrest within the party. Also, her recent Tell It All interview on Asempa FM's Ekusi Sen show, where she revealed that her recent loss in the parliamentary primaries was as a result of a misunderstanding by her party while apportioning blames to some party bidwigs. So the party has asked that she goes to face the disciplinary committee over her actions over the past few days.
A lot of issues. Now, a couple of quick stories. PROs from police now resume media interactions. This is good news. IGP Christian Tete Yuhunu has announced plans to lift the ban on police personnel engaging with the media, a restriction imposed by former IGP George Akuffo Dampare. According to IGP Yuhunu, combating rising crime requires public cooperation, and effective policing hinges on strong engagement between law enforcement and the community. Speaking at a workshop for PROs on police PROs, can you imagine? So, like for 3 years, police PROs have just been sitting in the office. Charlie, on Thursday, March 20, he emphasized the need for transparency and assured that all regional PROs and public affairs offices would be reactivated and revamped to facilitate better interaction with both police and public and the media. I really endorse this decision. I didn't understand how on earth the former IGP decided that they wouldn't speak to the media. It's just annoying. Now, GAEC lands under threat as private developers encroach. This story is on Channel 1 News. The Ghana Atomic Energy Commission has raised concern over the increasing encroachment on lands earmarked for critical nuclear projects, warning that these unauthorized developments pose significant risks. Now, one affected site is the area earmarked for the construction of the electron beam irradiation facility, which has now been compromised by illegal settlers. Now, Anthony Nana Boatin, Director of Commercialization and Communication of GAEC, disclosed that some individuals have illegally breached security barricades protecting sections of GAEC's land behind the Boshe Police Base Workshop and the Ga East Hospital. And this is getting very serious, and I really hope the Interior Ministry and some other relevant national security installation ministries go and support GAEC in this
Well,
quest.
it's interesting because if you look at that area, the police have some new apartments
Just
around-
close to
just
that
close
area.
to that area. So it comes as a surprise that we see all these things going on. The Herald newspaper document exposed outgoing CDS in Lexus car bribery and overpriced armored vehicles. The Herald's investigations into the purchase of 5 armored vehicles by the National Ghana Armed Forces, which have been compromised by some outgoing military chiefs, have revealed troubling developments implicating the outgoing Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, General Thomas, upon Prepra in what appears to be a bribery scandal. Wednesday, March 19, 2025, the CDS sent a letter to the Customs Office in Tema to pay a duty on a Lexus LX 600 2023 model, black, chassis number JT. It comes with all the chassis number. However, investigations revealed that the Lexus was one of the 6 armored vehicles imported by Akani Logistics, a private company owned by Alhaji Tafik. The company did not win the contract but was handpicked. So the Herald is alleging that there's been some corrupt engagement within the Ghana Armed Forces.
Let me give you 2 final stories. Church demands urgent reforms in Ghana's education system. Catholic Standard is reporting that the Ghana Catholic Bishop Conference is calling on the government to urgently address challenges in the country's education, including examination malpractice, declining moral values in schools, and technical education gaps. In a statement issued after the 2nd National Education Forum recently, the bishops called on the government to sign a long-awaited agreement with the mission schools before the 2024-25 academic year. They emphasized the unique role of mission schools in shaping Ghana's future leaders and expressed concern over the government's failure to formalize its partnership with those institutions, which has hindered their ability to operate effectively. Now, there's also some agitation at GBC, where some staff or union members are demanding the immediate removal of their DG, Professor Amin Alassan, citing a loss of confidence in his leadership and concerns over financial irregularities. Addressing a press conference yesterday, Sam Natkevo, chairman of the union, said Professor Alassan has become detached from the aspirations of both workers and the corporation, making his continued stay untenable. So much more to get into in the main show. Let's come into the business news. Neil Atilat is joining us with the bulletin.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
City Business News next. Brought to you by EcoBank. Good day, listeners. Looks can be deceiving. There's a growing trend of scams from Ghana card update scams, bank card scams, smishing, and others. The goal always is to deceive you. EcoBank says don't give sensitive information like Ghana card and bank card details to anyone. Stay alert. Scan SMSs can look like your bank SMS. EcoBank says pay better attention to the details. Call 08000 3225 when you are in doubt. That's 08000 3225. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning, Bernard. It's Friday. Welcome to the breakfast edition of Citi Business News on 97.3 Citi FM, brought to us by MTN, Goil, and EcoBank. I am Ni Lati. Straight into our stories now. And the Ghana Chamber of Mines has petitioned Parliament's Finance Committee over the increase in the Growth and Sustainability Levy from 1% to 3% as proposed in the 2025 budget. As part of its advocacy efforts, the Chamber has engaged the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasayo Latoforsen, and members of the Finance Committee to outline key concerns about the potential impact of the levy hike on the mining sector. Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Suleiman Akoni, tells Citi Business News that ongoing discussions will help mitigate any effects on the industry. He further expressed confidence that the Chamber's concerns will be addressed in the mid-year budget review.
There would continue to be an opportunity for us as a mining industry to engage with the Ministry of Finance and the Minerals Commission, as well as our sector ministry, further backed by data, so that the legislation will not have the kind of unintended consequences, we have been, voicing our concerns about. So at least we were able to engage, which for us is quite positive. And hopefully, once we sit and look at the numbers carefully, we should be able to settle at the point where everybody will be happy. The Minerals Commission, the government, Ministry of Finance specifically, and the Chamber of Mines would be somewhat pleased that, look, indeed, we have settled at a place which is quite equitable. At the end of the day, it's a balance we're actually looking for. We are also understand and appreciate the fact that our country is in a difficult situation. However, we don't want a prescription which will really stimulate the growth and sustainability as well as the viability of the mining industry. So we are quite pleased with where we actually got to. More work needs to be done.
Suleiman Akoni is Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Mines. Away from mining, let's take you to energy now, because some stakeholders there want the government to be more systematic in its approach to convert several traditional fuel stations into electric vehicle charging stations. Although they commend the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition on the initiative, they also believe a more structured transition should be a guiding principle. The ministry explained that the move is to facilitate the country's transition to clean energy and reduce their dependence on fossil fuels. Benjamin Insia is the Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy.
Transiting from fossil fuel to maybe electric charging points also means that we are likely going to have a shortfall with respect to our ability to fund the energy sector debt, because fossil fuels are one of the areas that we tax or we levy to fund these debts. So we must be very systematic and very gradual. But we do agree that some parts of Accra and maybe some parts of Kumasi or Takoradi, where we've seen new and emerging taste for EVs, must have these charging points, because there are a lot of complaints out there that some EVs or EV owners do not get areas to charge their vehicles, and even if they do, they don't get smart charging points. But if it's a policy direction by the ministry, that means that these filling stations must have smart charging points to complement those selling fossil fuel, and that will go a long way to make sure that we're able to transit as much as we want to transit with respect to having electric vehicles in our transport sector.
You heard Executive Director for the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Insia. Now, financial economist at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Joshua Abo, is stressing the need to enhance efficiency in Ghana's financial system to improve the formulation and implementation of monetary policy. He suggests the proposed abolition of the e-levy could drive greater financial inclusivity and impacting the effectiveness of monetary policy. Professor Joshua Abo made these remarks while speaking to the media at the launch of the book Monetary Economics in Emerging and Developing Countries, which he co-authored with Professor Peter Korte and two others.
Monetary policy may not be that effective because of some of the limitations I've talked about, but on the whole, inflation targeting regime has served us better compared with the other the regimes we had in the past. I think there's a lot more we can do in terms of strengthening the financial system, improving on the efficiency levels of the financial market or financial system, and that can help in strengthening monetary policy formulation and implementation. And so it's something that we need to tackle seriously. If you take the e-levy, for instance, that many people spoke against, it's one thing that impacted on inclusive finance. We thought we had come far in terms of promoting financial inclusion, but that really discouraged many people from using the payment systems that we had. And for the current development, I think that will help to get back on track and make sure that we drive inclusivity as far as a financial system is concerned, and that can impact on monetary policy effectiveness.
Professor Joshua Abo is a financial economist and lecturer of finance at the University of Ghana Business School. Meanwhile, the first deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Zagari Mumuni, emphasized the book's relevance in shaping monetary policies in emerging markets, particularly in light of ongoing economic challenges faced by developing economies. On the forex market this morning, the dollar trading at 15 cedis 60 pesos, the British pound at 19 cedis 80 pesos, that of the euro going for 16 cedis 50 pesos. And that'll be all for today's edition of the breakfast edition of Citi Business News on 97.3 Citi FM, brought to us by MTN, Goyle and EcoBank. I am Ni Latte.
You receive any SMS or you haven't checked.
The truth is that he's a scammer.
Please kindly cross-check your message to be sure about this because your account requires an update.
This is where they play games with your mind.
Without you updating, you won't be able to access your account for any transaction, either outgoing or incoming.
Your bank or service provider will never call or text asking you to update your account or verify sensitive information like your PIN, Ghana card, or bank card details. Looks can be deceiving. Pay better attention to details to avoid getting scammed. For more information, visit www.ecobank.com. Ecobank, a better way, a better Africa. Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
I know, you do me bad, then you know what, miss you for my pillow.
It's 9 minutes past 7 on the City Breakfast Show, Friday, the 21st. Coming up shortly is the City Business Edition. Before we get into that, sending money to Ghana, Gambia, Guinea, or from Ghana to Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, Sierra Leone has been made much, much easier through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, the PAPS. You can send and receive money from these countries for business and personal purposes. Visit any First Bank Ghana branch nationwide with your cash and your money is transferred in no time. This is another way by which First Bank Ghana puts you first. For more information on the PAPS, please call 059 69 21 921. And of course, from now till June 2025, Enterprise Insurance is giving you more reasons to smile, buy or renew your existing motor insurance policy and enjoy amazing rewards, free fuel coupons for your car and airtime for your phone. With over 100 years of trusted experience, we are here to secure your peace of mind. Visit any branch, connect with your insurance agent or broker, or use the Enterprise Advantage app for convenience and enjoy free fuel coupons and airtime instantly when you buy or renew your motor insurance. Enterprise Insurance is rated AAA by the GCL for financial strength and claims paying ability. And your living room deserves better class, warmth, and memory for your family and friends. That's why Ashform is producing a masterclass range of sofas, couches to fit in every corner and space in your living room or balcony. We offer an exquisite range of modern design living room sofas and couches, center tables, wooden beds, headboards, wardrobes, and more. We have showrooms across the country. Delight yourself with ash foam styled living room furniture. Call 055-902-7907 or 0243-200-729. We have showrooms in all the big malls. We are an ISO 9001 2015 certified manufacturer of foam and other home soft furnishing. All right, so 11 minutes past the hour of 7. A number of quick birthday requests coming through. Good morning, sir. Please wish Lady Mrs. Bathsheba Odoe McDavis a glorious happy birthday. Coming in from the Happy Hubby, Pastor Fred Niyamu Odoe McDavis. Oh my God. Sorry, Pastor Fred, you are too good. So this is to his lady, Mrs. Bathsheba Odoe McDavis. This is coming from the pastor or the man of God to his wife. And also to Percy Nathan Swansea of Dansoman Best wishes from Lawrence and the GSTS alumni. Blessed birthday to Elder David Opai of the Mint Group and the Church of Pentecost North Kanesh English Assembly. Your wisdom, guidance, and unwavering support have shaped our journey, or my journey from youth to today. More than a father, you are a mentor and a pillar of strength. Your life is a legacy etched not just in years, but in a countless lives you uplift. With deep gratitude from us, Pa, Mom, Chayi, or Chayil, Mimi, and Junior. Happy birthday to Elder David Opai. Happy birthday to an amazing niece, Hanan Mahmoud of Cornerstone International Academy. Wishing you a day filled with love, laughter, and your favorite things. May this special day be the start of an incredible year ahead. Auntie Haja is proud of the smart, kind, and talented kid you're growing up to be. Grandma, uncle, and all your mummies love you loads. From Fatih Masood Salifu of the National Ambulance Headquarters. Wishing Safako Kata of Primus Hybrid International School an awesome birthday and God's blessings and protection as you turn 11 from Mommy, Daddy, and your siblings. Safako Kata of Primus Hybrid International. So many birthday requests coming through. It's World Efua Falconer Day. Happy 50th to Efua Falcon of MTN Ghana, popularly known as Obiba Efua, Ami, Dede, and MTN Bruni. Oh, I love this. God richly bless you on this milestone celebration. May the Lord guide your steps in the next 50 to achieve higher heights, age gracefully, in good health and prosperity. From the MTN Corporate Communications Team, Corporate Services Division, and the entire MTN family. Enjoy the day, MTN Bruni, Obiba Efua. Alright, so what are we doing now? We're going into the City Business Edition. And because we're coming on the back of all this tax conversation in the budget, the team will get further into the conversation on property taxes. That's a big elephant in the room. All right, so now the Oxfam City Tax Dialogues continues this morning. Guests include Kawusada Abubakari, Head of Program Quality and Partnership, NOSAC. Solomon Kusiampofo is Program Coordinator, Friends of the Nation. And Mohammed Mubin is the Planning Officer, Ga East Municipal Assembly. So we're discussing how can we make property tax effective? Should we centralize it? Should we decentralize it? What's the best way to get property tax off the ground? City Business Edition is next.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Until I find my real side, I'm gonna get me some love, somebody. Until I find my real side.
Hello there, welcome to the final episode of the 2025 season of the Oxfam Tax Dialogue here on 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. I am Ni Latte, and thank you so much for joining us for this particular episode. Today on the show, we are looking at property taxation, and if you have been following the tax conversation here in the country as well as the Oxfam Tax Dialogue, you will know that property taxation is one of the pivotal tax systems that we have here in the country. A lot of times we talk about its full potential to the revenue generation of the country. However, this potential, many say, has been untapped. Today on the show, we'll try to dissect the situation and try as much as possible to find recommendations for the government. I am Nila Telate. Thank you for joining us again. Stay with us. When we come back, we will begin the conversation for you.
Until I find my real side, I'm gonna get me some love, somebody. Until I find my real side.
Thank you for staying with us, and just as I mentioned, today we are talking about property taxation, or what many refer to as property rate. A lot of challenges, low compliance, low enforceability, and what have you. Today I have three guests with me to help us really appreciate what the issue is when it comes to property taxation, what the challenges are and the solutions thereof. On my immediate right is Solomon Kusi Ampofo. He is Program Coordinator, Friends of the Nation. Solomon, thanks for joining us.
You're most welcome.
Next to him is Kawusada Abubakari, Head of Program Quality and Partnerships at NOSAC. Madam, good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And then my final guest, Mohammed Mubin, Development Planning Officer at the Gais Municipality. Good to have you,
Thank
Mohammed.
you very much for having me.
And you can tell that we have a really strong team here to help us with property taxation this time around. And I just want to begin with you, Mohammed, since you are the municipality and property taxation at the core of the activities you do there at the municipality. Many a times you get to hear what property taxation is in the budget. You get to hear it. Governments have been urged to expand the tax net using property taxation as one of the prerequisites. Now, so if you talk about property taxation, quickly run us through what the system is for us as a country, or even in a broader perspective, what is property taxation?
Okay, thank you very much. In Ghana, when we talk of property tax or property rate, we are looking at the payments that people make for having particular properties. And when we talk of particular property, we are looking at land and then buildings. So by provisions of law, MMDAs, that's Metropolitan and Municipal Assemblies, are supposed to make this collection of property tax at the local level. So it's the full responsibility of MMDAs to collect this property tax.
And so this particular land and building that you are talking about, are we looking at commercial properties or residential properties or all of them?
Yeah, we are actually looking at them. It has categories. So property tax, we have the residential aspect, the commercial, and even the landed properties and the industrial. So all these types of properties are catered for in the property tax. So we have to do categorizations. These categorizations inform the rates that are issued to the taxpayer to determine how much each person will pay. So basically you realize that the commercial and the industrial ones do pay more because they are doing businesses. So as we look at them one after the other, we'll elaborate on
and these are immovable properties, right?
Yes, please.
And so if you say that depending on the kind of facility or structure, you look at the rate, what other factors do you consider? Are we looking at the location, the kind of infrastructure it is, the age of the building, for example? How do you do the evaluation or the assessment?
Okay. So basically, the responsibility of collection is with the MMDAs, but other institutions play a role. So the Land Valuation Division of Land Commission, when we set out to assess properties, they will first of all give us that rate after we do the assessment. So what goes into it? In a building, we'll be looking at how many rooms it has, the types of materials. The location factor in, we have what we call hierarchy of settlements. And these hierarchy of settlements are based on the services available in those areas. For example, if you take, let me use my district for example, if you take Hacho, or where we call Papao, normally people refer to as Westland, you realize that it's a higher settlement. You see they have the water services there, they have the roads that are nice and all of that. So that would be a first class area.
So essentially those people will be paying more.
Exactly. Then if you move towards places like Ashoma Village and Abokobi, you realize that the services there, so it will be a low rank hierarchy of settlements at that level. So when you look at the location, those are the factors that go into it. Then the structure itself, the materials we use to build the structure, and then the time. So in determining the rate, actually, they have the market approach. So where you look at in an area, what is the value in terms of when people are selling properties, that will be used. Then we'll look at the materials that people bring together to put up a particular structure. The Land Valuation Division also look at this to determine the value of a property. So you multiply the value by the rate. So for example, if we say a property is worth 100,000, then we have the rate imposed, maybe 0.5%. Then you multiply, then you now get what that property owner would pay.
So is it correct to say that property taxation or property rate is a form of progressive tax? Because the more valuable your property is, the more you pay.
Yes, I will agree with that.
Okay. Yeah. And so this rate that you talk about, it is not fixed?
No.
Okay. So in a typical, assessment or evaluation, are you able to tell me, so for example, put a figure to any property, let's say 100,000 Ghana cedis, 200,000 Ghana cedis. Can you give us a rate, or how will you calculate the property rate? I just want us to get practical here.
Okay, so to get practical, let me just use maybe what we have at Ghanaians Municipal Assembly as an example so that we see. So for example, if you take the Ghanaians Municipal Assembly, it spans from, let's say, Mile 7 Achimota area to Taifa, to Kwabinya, then you come to Hacho, Domi, Westland, Ashoma, then Abokobi areas. So if you look at residential, the first class residential areas, the rate impost is 0.002 to 0.0015. So then, if you then go and then value that particular property and you multiply by it, you would have a figure based on what land valuation has given her. So the figure for residential first class in the Ghanaians municipality, the figure is 200 cedis.
I see. And this rate is payable annually?
Yes, it's payable annually. So let me give another example of the commercial. So if you take first class commercial area, the rate imposed 0.0025. So the amount that is payable is 360 cedi annually.
I see. Thank you very much for laying that foundation for me. But let me move to our lady from NOSAC. By the way, what does NOSAC stand for?
Yes, thank you. NOSAC it stands for Empowering Women, Youth and Children. We believe in connecting the realities of people to the policy space.
Oh, I see.
So that policy can be more responsive to the day-to-day well-being of
I
people.
see. So on that policy note, how important is, property taxation to the revenue generation of the country? How is it important in the scheme of things?
Yeah, you know that development is shaped by so many resources that are needed to deliver on it. And one of that is financial resources. And every location, that's why government transfers, there's the locally generated revenue that is used to deliver on developmental mandates for the people. So it's property rates are very critical. Because whatever being all settlements, there are one form of properties or the other. The good thing is that as a country, that system is progressive. It's not a flat system where whoever you are paying the same figure. You are paying based on the value and the locations of your properties. So it's really critical for assemblies to be able to mass those resources from their own people, but much more critically for the people to appreciate that the resources they are contributing, how it's impacting on their well-being.
But many times people say that, well, we pay our taxes, we pay our property rate, but we do not see what assemblies are using them for. How do you convince anyone who is in this dilemma to continue paying his or her property tax?
One, you need to acknowledge that that's a reality. For some people, they are very far away from understanding because assemblies are not able to break it down very well for them to appreciate. So what those resources are used for are not easily visible. In some areas, they may go into administrative costs, but even when it goes into tangible products like buildings, they are not marked or easily marked for people to tell that, oh, the 1 cedi they took from me for this rate has gone into this. And 3, behaviors of collectors also count, right? Those who collect the revenue, how they behave towards the collectors, impact on perceptions, which most times are negative, which contribute to the increasing apathy that people have. And secondly, this whole valuation process. I mean, it could sound a bit technical, but if assemblies could have a way that the people easily can understand, how did you come about the 100 cedis you say I should pay on my property? It's helpful for them to also even become advocates. And even how we let particularly the associations that have mass number of membership, if they understand and integrate in their system, it may be helpful. So and for the behavior area, it's an area that critically needs to be looked at to change mindset of people to respond better. But whatever people also need to appreciate development is a contribution of all actors. You cannot be on the sideline and expect to get the developmental outcome you require. Put in your input and then demand accountability.
I like the part of, public perception and social impact you bring to the conversation. But let me go to Solomon, and I'll come back to you on how to address some of these issues. But the issue of low compliance with property taxation, it seems never to go away. We hear a lot of people not trying to, pay their property. What really is the challenge over there? Is it something that the assemblies are not doing right, that needs some fixing? Or the whole property tax architecture is something that you should have a real look at?
Okay, thank you very much. So if you look at the low compliance, there are several factors that contribute to that. The first one is the low awareness and understanding of citizenry on property rates and how to collect those revenues and what they are being used for. The other issue is also about the lack of data in terms of knowing how much or how many properties are within the jurisdiction of the municipal assembly, what are the valuation values, and also how would they deploy an effective system in collecting these taxes. The other bit is also about the accountability aspect. If the assembly is able to collect these rates, how do they use these revenues to be able to facilitate development and provide services to the people to improve their living conditions? So these are a number of things that affect the low compliance. And one of the key things we have been doing as Friends of the Nation with the support of Oxfam is to support these district assemblies to be able to deploy an effective data collection system to enumerate all rateable properties and businesses within the jurisdictions that are geo-referenced, that also have data on the property owners, and that also provide a sense of how the assembly can do the evaluation and also know that within this fiscal year, this is how much we'll be able to collect. And that one is also anchored on an accountability platform where, after raising the awareness about property rates and property taxation, then you are also able to engage the citizenry to know how much you've collected and what you've used these revenues for by deploying accountability boards across several areas within the jurisdiction of the assembly for people to know, so that in specific areas you can know that for this year the assembly collected this much of revenues and this is what they have been able to use those revenues for, to be able to deliver the service that they are mandated to do.
Very well, Solomon. We are still watching and listening to the Oxfam Tax Dialogue here on 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. I am Ni Latte. We are taking a short break. When we come back, we will delve deeper into some works that Oxfam has been doing as far as property taxation is concerned. Solomon has mentioned a bit of it. We'll be delving deeper into it, and also look at the changes that have happened with regards to property taxation, decentralization from assemblies to GRA, private, uniform, all of those issues. And finally, how we can strengthen the property taxation collection here in the country.
Until I find my real side, I'm gonna get me some love, somebody. La 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 la. Until I find my real side.
You're welcome back, and thank you for staying. It's still the Oxfam Tax Dialogue here on 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. It is our last episode, and it's all about property taxation. I am Nila Tilati. My guest, Solomon Kusiampofo, Program Coordinator, Friends of the Nation, Kausada Abubakari, Head of Program Quality and Partnerships at NOSAC, as well as Mohammed Mubin, Development Planning Officer at the Ga East Municipality here in the Greater Accra region. Mohammed, I want you to explain this better. Some 2 years ago, this is what we saw in terms of budget commitment and failures. The government says that it wanted to centralize, the collection of property rates as part of the raft of measures to ensure efficiency in the system. So we saw GRA taking over from the municipalities, a private developer also in there. What really did the government seek to achieve with that policy, and did it achieve anything at the end of the day if you match it against the collection from the municipalities?
Okay, first of all, the reason why GRA came in to take the collection of property tax from MMDAs was that it was confirmed that MMDAs were seriously challenged in generating enough revenue
Was
from
that the
property
case?
tax. And yes, that was the case.
I see.
Actually, that was the case. If you look at the collections and the estimated properties in every area, you realize that. But the approach they got wrong. First of all, it violates the decentralization policy of government, which is the Local Governance Act 936, who says MMDAs have to do this collection. They did not change that, and then they introduced this. Again, GRA, when they took over and centralized the collection, the performance was very poor as compared to when it reverted back or when the assemblies were doing the collection. GRA wanted to increase revenue collection by taking over, having a digitized system, which actually is good. But the problem of the low collection, among many other things, was the willingness of people to pay, as my colleague mentioned. It is when people are willing to pay, then you can introduce a digitized platform, then you just send the money. But there was not that willingness, but yet GRA assumed with that digitized system, the collection will be much more easier. So let's see what happened. After 2023, if we take my assembly, for example, Ghana East, we were collecting about 2-point-something million Ghana cedis as per in 2022 as property tax. When GRA came, GRA collected barely 1 million Ghana cedis. As of last year, the Ghanaian Municipal Assembly, when we reviewed the figures in October, we had collected over 3 million Ghana cedis already. In all of it, the collection is low, but when GRA came in, it did not solve that problem. So GRA was not able to solve that problem. So
someone will ask, did we go or did we come?
So that is how come it reverted back to the... So, and to make it...
So the explanation is that you are better off allowing the assemblies to collect the property with that centralization.
Yes.
I see.
And what we are, they can actually support in empowering, because there's a physical decentralization unit at Ministry of Finance, which is to help with all revenue collection at the MMDA level and then the national level. That's why it's called Fiscal Decentralization Unit. So they can actually help empower assemblies to do more collection of what? Property tax. And there is a system to ensure that we do it effectively. It's just that it's not being implemented. If we look at the LI 1967, which created zonal councils or substructures in 2010, the responsibility of the unit committees is that they go and enumerate rateable persons and properties. And unit committee members are usually within that local area. So, Mr. Amponsa has just come and built a house. They can just easily get details of this new developer. If it is a business, same. Then they will provide this to their substructure. It goes to the assembly. So assembly have this documentation. Then coupled with our local plan, where spatial planning, where we have the street naming, property addressing system, we could actually, if we implement these provisions properly, they will solve half of the problem of collection property rates.
From what you say, I get the sense that you feel property tax is the easiest tax that we can collect in the country.
Yes, absolutely. Because it is visible, you see the property, it is there. If you compare to all the other categories of taxes that we collect.
So why then is there a struggle? That I'll leave for Nosak to explain to us. But even as I move to her, how important is property taxation to the medium-term revenue strategy of the Ministry of Finance? Because I heard you talk about Ministry of Finance and what, if you can just give me 60 seconds on that.
So it's very, very important because it constitutes almost, if you say maybe second of the categories of collections that we make. That is, it competes against the business operating permit for the local level. And chunk of the revenue we collect come from it. So if you look at our municipal assembly, it is at the top competing with the business operating permit. And those monies, if we are able to actually collect them, some assemblies can be independent of even central government support. Because it's, if you look at the property, for example, my assembly, per the old rate, is worth collecting 37 million Ghana cedis. With the current rate, which GRA assessed and then shot up the rate, figures. So it's one of the problems we are managing currently. We are capable of collecting 60 million, but we are not able to collect all of this. If we do,
I hear some assemblies are even collecting more than the district assembly common fund that they receive. And
my assembly like this, all our business are categorized, apart from, I think, rent, or let's say daily toll, all the other category, we collect more than what the DACF give us.
Interesting revelations. But remember that you are on the wings of Oxfam, and they have been doing some really great work in some parts of the country in terms of property taxation. So the last 5 minutes of the conversation will be dedicated to Oxfam and the really good works they have been doing. So Solomon, Madam Abubakari, I don't know who wants to begin this one. Shama and where?
I could start.
Okay.
Because of, the whole centralization conversation. You see, especially for property REIT, the two major issues is data and the people-to-people relationship. It's not just about a system seated somewhere with a connection to the people. You are dealing with people who know you, know lifestyles, and have perceptions. So the people-to-people relationship is very critical for you to deliver well in that area. So NOSAC with Oxfam for the past 6 years, we've been working with the Sanago Municipal Assembly in Northern Region. And we started this journey with the Assembly, appreciating their reality, particularly in having authentic data on their rateable properties. And you see, Mohammed mentioned a point, if zonal and area councils are functional, the cost of data is minimal. But however, if it's centralized at the assembly level, there's so much money that has to be pumped into to go to every single property to document it, right? So we supported the assembly to now improve their data, and they moved from 5,125 rateable property to 18,235, over 250%, improvement in data. And you need to also appreciate that properties will come up, some would have issues within the year. And so all that supported how they could then have a good data, have a good projection, and then have a tailored approach to how they can collect these. And again, in that area, we had interest to see how existing associations within the location who could support, for instance, the hotelier association, how can they be of support as a good mechanism? Because they have membership. They can use their space to be able to get hotels to be responsive to pay some of these things. And also for us is a bit about accountability. People want to be able to tell, and it can be a very difficult conversation, but a necessary one. How much did you collect from us? Where did it go into? And that is always where assembly and people struggle a bit. But at least there's been improvement. We've had series of accountability boards within the zonal councils, just depicting data on what is coming in and what is being used for. Of course, they still need to improve, particularly people being able to see the physical demonstration of the impact of that collection in development. So for instance, if assembly should use it to maybe respond to a need in education in any school, how does the people relate? And that talks about visibility to these efforts. That assembly, they do a lot of work, but they are not able to bring it out very well for the people to relate to. And so that is now where we are with the assembly, to see how best they can, with their communities, define how the communities can relate to these things, considering the different levels of literacy and appreciation of issues.
With Kausada unpacking the great work that you people have done in Sanarigo as well as Shama, I want to believe that it's also led to increased revenue for the assemblies. And so, even as we wrap up, Solomon, talk to me about this bit. What are the lessons that you've learned in the activities that you embarked on that other districts can also tap in, even as we shape our tax conversation in the country?
So the key lessons is to get committed leadership who invest time and resources in terms of data collection and also providing the mechanism for accountability. because we are successful because we work with 3 different chief executives, and they were all very much committed in the Shama district to contribute to this digital property taxation initiative. And that helped the assembly to generate more revenues. So they increased their revenues for property rate from about 600,000 to 1.8 million within the 6 years that we worked. And that was very much commendable. And that shows how, if you are very committed to this cause, you can be able to derive the best out of property taxation. Then also provided a platform for the citizenry to know exactly what these monies are being used for. So through radio discussions, through the Mountain of Accountability Boards, town hall meetings, people forums, all of these avenues were provided for citizenry to be able to know exactly what are the purpose of collecting property rates, how are these monies being used for, and even what are the channels of paying these rates. And interestingly, now some of the citizens walk straight to the assembly to pay these taxes, where before they were not doing it. And there's also the deployment of some digital system for people to also pay their rates through electronic means. And that's also helping the assembly and also reducing the time that they would go to people to collect these revenues. So these are critical points, and I believe that the government should tap into these opportunities and really upscale it and encourage the district assemblies to do more. For me, there should be a dedicated source of funding for the assemblies to invest in data collection. Because if the assemblies are able to collect data on all rateable properties, then that gives them the platform and also the mechanism to collect more. And as has been discussed, there is so much we can generate from property taxation, which is even higher than the district assembly common fund or any other donor funding or external fund that might come to the assembly. So property taxation or property rates is the way to go, and government must invest in these mechanisms.
And for all of you, if you get the right data, we can collect more.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. You heard from Solomon Kusi Ampofo, Program Coordinator, Friends of the Nation. Kausad Abubakari, Head of Program Quality and Partnerships at NOSAC, as well as Mohammed Mubin, Development Planning Officer at the East Municipality. And also thank you so much for staying with us for the past 3 months on the Oxfam Tax Dialogue. This is what time will allow us for. Catch you same time next year or even latter part of this year if you are able to come your way again. And we are so grateful to Oxfam for making this particular episode a great one. I am Ni Lati, and I thank you so much indeed for staying with me throughout this season. Bye-bye.
My girl. This is the City Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
Come on. Good boy. Honey, look, he's crawling. Good job. The new Cerelac Wheat and Maize has the combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals also found in fruits and vegetables. To prepare the new Cerelac Wheat and Maize, just add milk. Enjoy your little one's big moments at less cost. Cerelac, care for them, count on us. This advert is FDA approved.
Football's magic never fades, even from the couch. The sound of halftime banter replays at the touch of a button. Sharing with my chosen crew, pure game magic. It's like I'm there, but with a better view from the comfort of my home. Priceless. From the March 3rd to April 30th, pay with your MasterCard, online or in-store, and stand a chance to win a unique priceless viewing experience of the UEFA Champions League final for you and your friends. MasterCard, proud supporter of non-stop and T&Cs apply.
Did you know that worms take away nutrients from the food you eat? Just listen to them.
Brothers, yesterday the food nice, huh?
Oh, yeah. The Choba woman, yeah. She did try wa.
Charlie, something come on. It be food.
It did taste like banana.
Make a taste some. Make me try a taste. Make a taste. Hey, something is doing me.
Something is doing me too.
Oh, it be Vermox.
Vermox banana flavored dewormer is available in both suspension and tablet and is suitable for children and adults. It's good for you, bad for worms. Not recommended for children under 2 years and pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
You are starting life, you want financial freedom. You know where to go for your child's education, financial freedom. We got solutions just for you. For your retirement plan, employee wellness and benefits. Old Mutual, your preferred insurer. Old Mutual is the best.
What are you waiting for? Come and join us. Call us on 030-7600. Old Mutual. Do great things every day.
Do great things every day. Do great things every day.
Mommy, the Nido.
Hello. Please add a pack of Nido.
Sure. Sister, is that your daughter?
Yes.
The last time she came to buy Nido by herself, and I forgot to collect my money.
Oh, sorry. I'll pay today.
Don't be sorry. She made sure to remind me. I love her honesty. So well done.
Oh, thank you. Confident, curious kids will change our world. Nido is specially formulated with iron, vitamin C, and A. Nido, your love, their future.
This advert is FDA approved.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Friday morning, welcome aboard to kick off on the City Breakfast Show with me, Edwin Kwakofi. Coming up, it's match day for Ghana's Black Stars as they take on Chad in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. We'll touch base with the team and hear from the team's under pressure head coach, Otto Addo. Kickoff is powered by Shell Go Well, Zonda GH, and Leshehu. Let's improve life. Let's start the bulletin with Black Stars head coach Otto Addo, who is aiming for a third victory in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers as his side take on Chad later tonight at the Accra Sports Stadium. This match marks the first ever encounter between the two nations. Chad remain winless in Group I and are without a point in their 4 matches so far. My colleague Gabi Ofe has more details in the following report after observing the team's final training session on Thursday.
Coach Otuado led the Black Stars to their final training session on Thursday at the Accra Sports Stadium, joining up for their match day 5 clash against Chad in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers on Friday. All 23 players participated fully with no injuries reported as the team polished their preparations. The session's opening 15 minutes were accessible to the media, offering a glimpse of the squad fine-tuning their game plan. Addressing the press afterward, Coach Otuado expressed his eagerness to turn the page following the disappointing 2025 AFCON qualifying campaign, which concluded in November, and to kick off 2025 with a fresh start.
To be honest, it has been like always. So even before that, we visited players, we watched matches live. We've been downloading matches to watch matches online because I can't be in 40 places at the same time. But surely we had a little bit more intense talks surely to turn things around. And we also have a new setup. So there was a lot of things to talk about so that when they come here that they're not surprised. And this is what we've been doing.
Ghana endured a winless run throughout the 2025 AFCON qualifying campaign, ultimately missing out on the spot in the tournament. Coach Otuado issued an apology for the disappointing outcome, urging fans to rally behind the team for the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Chad. He emphasized that the match against Chad, despite their lower ranking, will be far from straightforward, calling it a challenging task ahead.
It's not only me, it's not about only me. So when we win, we all win, and when we lose, we all lose. I really like to say sorry for what happened. I think, especially in the home games, everybody saw that the most important thing which was missing was the goals. And for this, it's about playing together. I know that Chad is not a top team, but believe me, it's not going to be easy. And we need all the support we can get. And the boys, everybody knows that they can do it.
Prior to the Black Stars' final training session at the Accra Sports Stadium on Thursday, the Parliamentary Select Committee for Youth and Sport, led by its chairman, Ernest Henry Nogbe, paid a visit to encourage the team. The committee urged the squad to secure victory against Chad in the upcoming game, emphasizing the need to move past the recent AFCON qualifying disappointment and focus on earning a spot in the tournament slated for the USA, Canada, and Mexico.
The 39 million Ghanaians are behind you. Tomorrow you will see the 39 million Ghanaians in the stadium. The 278 MPs, 278 constituencies, members of those constituencies will be at the stadium to cheer you. We know Ghana is a football-loving country, and we are all yearning to go to US, Mexico, and then Canada next year. We want to play the final in US, yes, which we are very much hopeful. Yes, we are playing finals in the US. So we are here in the name of Ghana. We are here in the name of our constituents and the constituencies to motivate you and say that we are behind you solidly. Put everything behind. Teamwork is most critical thing.
Ranking member for the Parliamentary Select Committee, Vicente Kwasifwa, pleaded with the team to show commitment and play for the nation.
If it is about money, I know that most of you won't be here. But I know that it is the love for your country, the patriotism aspect of raising the flag of Ghana high. It is on that basis that most of you are here. I can only plead and urge you that as professionals, concentration is very key, especially for that 90 minutes. If we lose just 2 minutes or even a minute of concentration, we may have a problem.
Ghana will take on Chad in an historic first ever meeting between the two nations. Chad, currently languishing at the bottom of Group I, has yet to secure points in their last 4 matches of the ongoing 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers.
That report was put together by my colleague Gabby Ofei. Of course, we have live commentary on the game for you tonight, which kicks off at 7 p.m. Join our build-up and analysis from 6:45. The other teams in Ghana's group have also been in action. Mali got their qualifiers back on track with a resounding win away from home against Comoros. Mali beats Comoros 3-0 with Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Yves Bissouma bagging a brace of assists in the win. In Morocco, the win keeps Mali in 4th place with 8 points from 5 games, but St. Faith's team is just 2 points off group leaders Madagascar. Some more games coming up today in the World Cup qualifiers in the CAF region. Botswana take on Algeria at 1 p.m. Equatorial Guinea face Sao Tome and Principe. Burkina Faso hosts Djibouti. DRC hosts Sudan. Rwanda take on Nigeria. South Africa face Lesotho. Burundi take on Ivory Coast. Egypt travel to Ethiopia. Somalia travel to Guinea, and Niger take on Morocco. And that's the latest in the world of sports. For more on all these stories, visit citysportsonline.com. And as I said earlier, join us tonight at 6:45 p.m. for the build-up to the game between the Black Stars and Chad, and for live commentary at 7 p.m. Kickoff is powered by Shell Go Well, Zonda GH, and Lesheho. Let's improve life. I am Edwin Kwakofi. The City Breakfast Show with Bernard Avler continues.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's go, we improve your life. Let's go. Even when you're stuck with nothing, no matter your situation, let's go, we improve your life. Let's go. Let's go, we
It's not just a service station. It's a place you get more for every visit. It's not just a place to fill your tank. It's a place to fulfill your cravings. From chicken to chocolate, caramel or the tasty latte. It's not just a place to service your car. It's the perfect place to wash your ride. It's a place where convenience, love, friendship, joy, and laughter assemble. Because it all starts at Shell. Visit Shell today and enjoy a wide array of services and offers under one roof. It starts at Shell.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Looking for a bank to rely on? Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Would we say to bank be no lie? Only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe, universal banking ain't in me here on the date. I'm a busy person, me no many time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt, they tell me office a chilling, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best, I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west, everything is you first.
Nobody feed do, I'm like us, do I'm like us. First Bank we treat you first, treat you first. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
Money in the soil. Find your way into profitable careers and businesses in Agric and ATVET now. Take a step today and change your life, your family, and community. Dial *718*50# to join now. Ghana Grows. Hope Day. Ghana Grows is an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation, Limehouse, and other partners.
There's no price like the ShopRite price. That's why we are committed to bringing you lower prices on all the essentials you need. Like 125-gram Lele sardine in soya oil, only 14 cedis, 99 pence worth. And 200 grams Heinz baked beans, just 10 cedis, 99 pence worth each. Never pay more than the ShopRite price. Prices valid until 23rd March 2025. Only at ShopRite.
Football's magic never fades, even from the couch. The sound of halftime banter replays at the touch of a button. Sharing with my chosen crew, pure game magic. It's like I'm there, but with a better view from the comfort of my home. Priceless. From the March 3rd to April 30th, pay with your MasterCard, online or in-store, and stand a chance to win a unique priceless viewing experience of the UEFA Champions League final for you and your friends. MasterCard, proud supporter of non-stop and T&C supply.
Gasaba. Smoke from firewood and charcoal is harmful and as damaging to our lungs as cigarettes. It can cause heart diseases leading to stroke and may even affect our eyesight in the long run. Grandmothers, mothers, sisters, wives, men, caterers, and everyone still cooking with charcoal, let's switch to LPG gas. The National Petroleum Authority has introduced the cylinder recirculation model in collaboration with local partners to make gas more accessible in all local communities. Whether you own a cylinder or not, join our CRM initiative. Simply show up at any exchange point near you with a small down payment to receive a filled cylinder or swap your empty one. Regular safety checks will be in place. Say ebisa musemo or gas. Afeidie gasaba. Switch from firewood and charcoal to gas for a better and healthier life. This message is brought to you by the National Petroleum Authority and the Ministry of Energy.
Come on. Good boy. Honey, look, he's crawling. Good job. The new Cerelac Wheat and Maize has the combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals also found in fruits and vegetables. To prepare the new Cerelac Wheat and Maize, just add. Enjoy your little one's big moments at less cost. Cerelac, care for them, count on us. This advert is FDA approved.
Electromat Ramadan Bonanza this Ramadan season. Buy your favorite brands like Samsung, LG, Broom, Aya, Tomasi, Philips, Black Decker, Orient, Benetton, Infinix, and take home incredible savings and rewards. Visit our Electromat showroom today or check our social media and website for current offers. Make your Ramadan fasting magical with extraordinary deals and gifts from Electromat. Terms and conditions apply. Electromat, your world of electronics.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of Relevant Radio. This is City 97.3.
Makume Mudo, Julie, Odona Bomedam, Odona Framini, Odon Intimin and Tibig Mammy Himechi, Odona Simason, Odona Mamayi, Matomi Pediana Mountain Maurin feet Samepel, Meadow, Timidiana War, Branayambo Braco Jamisi Kediana so, and it will me no can, yes, be a menyabo for, may a beme be a pay you Mantimina Quadro for, Woman Commode, Yanemiana Pa, Femanuna swimming when I chairman what the pa, Timichico Groom, ANC, Bomeka. Ntete patema phone sem keka Julie so me nsa yenko grow na wo me ba but we nin come ho na check wanyanko fa fa me ko fa me ye ne wo pe me di me nya to fa mo bie de wa wo ne wo senti
don't ti ama me didi onye ye oh don't ti ama me da me no the trainer boyfriend so na ya pay my share my way wine into your door ye bro ode bright Odo ye bro, Rama Inida. Ode bro, Ode who don't ya? Rama Inida.
Obi eni ho kamo ho, open a medo. Obi di ne hama be se wo pen hwe ho. Nom champagne, asoti ameto. Wodo na me hia me home family tu awo. Da ho hwe menim. Na me hwe ensem hwe me team ma men kana ye mre follow me to paradise. I can see the future when I look into your eyes. Offer time be my offer time be Benz. Jimmy D make you no listen to your friends. Kwame George and Brand I'm telling the sense. Yes, and Mema Subambasa, it depends. Lord, before I to say blue. Wakoma ne pen worry me show the blue. True, my baby you fine. Let's show work how one time.
Oh don't tea, I'm a midi on yeah. Oh don't ya, mommy damn no. The trainer boyfriend soon I pay my share my way wine. Into your door, yeah, bro. Ode bright, Ode yeah, bro. Rama Inida. Ode bro. Ode bright.
6 minutes past 8. Today happens to be a very popular day for birthdays, because I've gotten a few more requests this morning. A couple of quick notes. We are hearing of a fire at Edum in Kumasi Central Market. We'll give a quick update on that for you. Yesterday there was a fire at what is referred to as a Gao filling station at Teshi. So you know these,
like the
Yeah, the ones that they pump.
The dark fuel.
There was a fire at Teshi. We're also told that Heathrow Airport in the United Kingdom has had to close today because of a fire incident that has led to a power outage. So there's a power outage at Heathrow. So those who are flying into London through Heathrow have to be diverted to other airports. So if you have a relative who's coming in or going to Heathrow, take note of that. There will be some issues. The market fires worry me though, because when I saw the footage of the fire, I mean, there's no way a fire tender can get there.
Yeah.
It's basically like plenty kiosks and the fire is in the middle. So unless they have a helicopter, they can't put up the fire. Or unless they have a hose that can really pump from distance, it's almost impossible to get in there. Don't you think we need to have a conversation about our markets and redesign them?
It's a conversation nobody wants to have. Yeah. The city authorities don't want to have it. The traders don't want to have it, because the traders will tell you that, look, the state of their livelihoods is such that they cannot wait for a market to be redesigned, because then the government also has to provide alternate spaces for them to go into. The government doesn't have that at the moment.
Can we get the assemblies to do it, to say every assembly has a 10-year plan to build a Kanesi type of market?
They'll tell you the location is not strategic.
Oh, we will go. Like, I know what you're saying. Like, it's because, this fires thing, it causes so much. If there's because the connections are not good, there's no proper drainage, it's not hygienic. We need leadership to take a decision on it. We shouldn't listen to the people. Let's do what is right.
No.
Let's do what is right. No. Because Akoto, you go to a market, some people don't even have access to proper toilets. You can't even drive a water carrying fire service truck into the market.
Oh, Bernard.
And people live there all day.
Bernard, how many times has Cantamanto gone up in flames? The recent one, within 24 hours, the firewood was being rehammered in there. They were hammering the firewood in again. Basically following the same design from the previous, which is why when we had the conversation this week about the security couples, I spoke to you about the new fire officer has a big job. And I like this thing you say about how do we gauge improvements. So this new fire officer, by the time she leaves office, how would we gauge that she did a good job? By reduced number of market fires, improved access to these ones, making inputs into the design. I'm not personally, but at least what are the initiatives?
I can give you some. The Minister of Interior said the fires...
They haven't been retooled in a long time.
15 years. So maybe her first job will be to raise resources to even buy proper fire tenders.
Yeah.
And then do public education on why we need... But look, just behind ICGC, the old one, Abosi Okai, somebody sent me a video of people rebuilding the place that had been cleared by the former minister.
I drive past.
And the people are now using blocks.
Yes,
so they are building permanent structures in a place which was not to have been inhabited.
Bernard, the building, if you want to get a good look, the new interchange here.
Go on top of it.
You will see from Agbobloshi all the way to the Friends Mall.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Bukom Emporium from the top of the interchange.
Wow.
All you see is the refuse, the plastic, and the wooden structures that are being put up. And it's amazing, Bernard, how quickly these structures are being put up. So you just see the 2x4 wood all from Agbobloshi all the way to the Bukom Emporium. Look at the size of land I'm talking about here. And that place is full.
What would it take for the government to say, this is not the place to live, this is not the place to sell?
Where is the place to live and where is the place to sell?
The place has been polluted because of many years of neglect and the way people do scrap metal there. It's not a healthy place to do anything. So cordon the place off and tell people not to go there.
You see?
That's what leadership is supposed to do.
Yes.
Don't tell us that, there's an electoral consequence vote. Those things I think they are just bad leadership.
Which is why again,
tell the people that you cannot live here.
I was very.
If you want to work, we'll give you a different place. You can't live here. You can't work here.
I was very interested when the Minister for Mesti went there, Mutala Ibrahim, because my initial thought was, why is he even going there? But then, again, I asked myself, maybe he wants to better understand why the people are there to find a solution. But my thinking again was, but there's a lot of work that has been done by the city itself on why people should not be here.
And yet they sit by and let people do it.
And let people do it. So it's like everybody comes and wants to do their own research into why the people are here, where should we take them. But the work, the material is there. If you go to the AMA, they can easily show you why the people are not supposed to be there, where they should be, how you can deal with this. But here's the thing, Bernard. Everything is about its electoral consequences with us.
Oh, come on.
Everything, Bernard. No, you can't overlook it.
NDC just won a big election. You can't tell me people are rebuilding structures at Abu Blusi. What has it got to do with elections? We are in 2024.
But here's the thing.
People should do their work.
No, but here's the interesting thing. Here's the interesting thing. It is the victory that opened the gates for the people to go there. Prior to that, the place was empty. But the thinking was, well, government has changed. This is another government.
So the new government should say no.
No, but they didn't say no.
They should.
When the people were going there, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, and again I put this to you if you recall, at the time said that she had sent a report to the president asking the president what to do with the people who had moved into Agbogblosi. It's not like these are the questions that journalists have not asked. Journalists asked the regional minister, Madam Oklu,
asked the president what to do.
Yes, she said she had sent a report to the presidency asking what to do. And I asked you this question: why had she done that? And you, on that day, told me that electoral consequences.
I don't remember.
Because this was 2 or so weeks ago. Everybody remembers this conversation. You said that because the president has to think about electoral consequences.
Really?
The regional minister doesn't have to think about that. But perhaps the fact that the regional minister doesn't have to think about that because maybe her seat is in Shai, but she has to deal with this matter. Perhaps that is what would have insulated her from all this so that she can do a good job. But the thing is, Bernard, every decision that will change this city or any other city in this country will not be taken because or implemented fully because has electoral consequences.
Let's.
I'm very confident in that assessment. I'm very confident in that assessment.
I refuse to accept that because it means that the people who will eventually benefit from the good decision cannot think straight for themselves.
No. Here's the thing. My thinking of how the city works and this process is that the city authorities, politicians, those in that area, in that arena, do not consider those who don't live in those areas as key.
So don't listen to those who are in the situation.
You understand? So, for instance, if I complain about this, the thinking of the politician who's listening to me is, well, you live in Dansuma, what is your business? You are well off. That is the assumption. So, what exactly is your problem? There is no consideration of the fact that, well, I have to look at this thing every morning when I wake up. I have to drive past it every morning when I wake up. And that it impacts how I get to work. Even though I don't live in that part of town. So everything around us impacts us one way or the other. But the thing is, everybody looks at the numbers. Those who have to make those decisions will tell you that, well, there are 300,000 people in that space. Think again, 300,000 people I don't want to upset. 300,000 people that potentially I can convince to vote for me.
So leaving them to live in that insanitary condition is the best way to appease them?
Yes, because the decision to improve their lives is too hard and they'll tell you it's too expensive. This is the cheaper option. And this is the path of least resistance.
Then that's not leadership, that's something else.
That is getting along. We get along.
That's terrible.
But I asked you this also the other time, and listeners bear me out on this. Which city works in Accra? Samens was in the Volta region recently. I heard him talk about Ho and parts of the Volta region, and it seems to work.
When I interviewed Professor Dakwa, he said probably Sunyani.
Sunyani as well.
And then maybe Akosombo. Maybe Akosombo.
Because of the VRA.
Yeah, so it's a close community. But you're right. There's a lot
which city works?
And you know what's even funny? When you drive on a caravan, even you see filth. Like you drive on vast swaths of land and you see like bola.
You know,
on roads.
I normally don't have the opportunity to use other cities in other regions because I'm not. I haven't traveled around Ghana.
Traveler.
Yes, I haven't traveled around Ghana in a while, so I tend to limit myself to what happens in my immediate environment, which is basically Accra, and the parts that I use. Bernard, the parts that I use, I do not think any city. You see, sometimes when you talk about this, people look. Every city has its good parts and its bad parts. I'll tell you a story. So when you go to Equatorial Guinea, there's Malabo 1 and then there's Malabo 2. Officially. One is the old capital, one is the new capital.
Okay.
So when the decision was made to build a new capital, there was a decision that the new capital will look like this to the front. And then we shift everything that is bad to the back, which is in Malabo 2. So if you want to experience a certain part of the city, you would have to go to a certain place to see some of the things that we complain about here.
So that's the Malabo one.
Yes, but in large swaths of the central city, there is an attempt to make it look presentable because the way it looks impacts the economy, it impacts lifestyles, it impacts a lot of things. And I'm sure it's the same for a lot of other major cities around the world or even around us. So those who have been to Cotonou, when people mention Cotonou as an example, Cotonou is not perfect. There are parts of Cotonou that are filthy. But there are more parts of Cotonou that are organized, that are cleaner than not. If we could say same for Lome, I could say same for Nairobi. I lived there for a long time. It's not a perfect city. There are really bad parts of Nairobi.
Yep.
But there are more parts of Nairobi that are good and clean and organized and structured than bad. In fact, there is clarity within the city on what can be done where. Now let's reverse it and come to Accra. I asked you the last time in Accra, which part of Accra can't you sell? If you asked me this question about Nairobi, I can tell you immediately where you cannot sell. I will mention the places. You can't sell here. You can't sell in this part. Why? Everybody who lives in that city will tell you where you can sell and where you cannot sell. I asked you this question in Accra, and listeners can help me. Which part of Accra can't you sell?
Yeah. I was thinking about it, and I felt maybe in front of Jubilee House.
In front of Jubilee House? The policemen are there, people are hawking.
These days, they don't come there.
They don't?
They are 37, and then they are at
Afrikiko.
But there's the one in front of Christ the King. They don't
No, but if I'm at Afrikiko, I'm fine.
So Afrikiko. So the only one.
What's the distance between Afrikiko and Christ the King?
So like
it's like 100 meters.
100 meters. So that's the only place. So the only place I know you can't hawk. So you can hawk at Afrikiko, you can hawk at 37, but you can't hawk at the Flagstaff House traffic light near Christ the King Church.
And I don't understand how we allow a city to develop like that. So let's take the Accra Mall area. There's a trotro station that is developing right in front of everybody.
In the Shiashi, they had this Tetekwashi Kuku thing.
Yes.
Now there.
Basically, even the original design of that area was supposed to be for aesthetics.
They didn't do it.
It's supposed to give you a certain feeling.
Sure. People are hungry. I was feeling.
But you see, you see, and that is the thinking of the people who run the city. People are hungry. I will say they're nefe. So that is why there is no pretty part of Accra. There is no inclination to say that this part of Accra is off limits to this, and that we will create avenues for this part here. We have decided that as a city, everything goes everywhere. We are an equal rights city. I can understand that too.
So is it that in Ghana the laws don't work or what? Because I was talking to a friend interested in Kenya, and the person was saying that they were trying to set up some shop or something, and that the interior designer said, "Oh, they had to wait for a license. They had to wait. I mean, it's your own shop, right? And you want to change the interior design, and they are basically waiting for city authorities' permit before they do the interior." And I was like, your own shop that you want to, and he said, "No, in that country, if you want to do anything on anything, you need some permit, and if you don't get it, they'll take your license."
I'll tell you this. I live in an area called Kileleshwa.
You told me this story before.
Yes. Otaya Road. That's on that path. Near the Methodist Rest Center. Those who know the city will know what I'm talking about. And in the area that I live in, basically that would be the size of Dansoman.
Okay.
In the entire area, Bernard, I was trying to connect my TV antenna and my DSTV. Now, my living room is in a certain way. It's in a certain direction. So I told the guy who had come that, Charlie, this is my living room. So just put the thing here and connect the short cable for me so that, you know, once I open the door, everything is there.
It's easy.
The guy calls me outside and says, "Come, look in front of the apartment." It's a 6-story apartment. There were 7 units of 6. And he said, "Look at the front." I looked at the front. He said, "Do you see anything here?"
Anything here like DSTV something?
I said, "No," but this is my living room. He said, "No. The county rules indicate that he can only put that thing at the back of the house. So I need to buy more cable."
So there's no way he's going to put it in the front.
The installer told me clearly that I need to buy the cable or he will not install the DSTV.
So ask for his Ghanaian equivalent and you wonder whether a Ghanaian DSTV installer will tell you that he cannot. What law is he even working with? Is he even working on any law?
That is the question.
Who's regulating?
So what would the DSTV installer working in Dansoman have been told about
whether he can
installing antennas? And it's a conversation that has come up even recently about signages in the middle of the city. Because you are driving and we've turned the entire medians into advertising billboards of different sizes.
There are even traffic lights you cannot see because billboards are blocking
them.
On the Caprice towards former Boomerang, there's this traffic light that every time I'm approaching, when I'm getting towards Alaju, I can't see the light because somebody has put his billboard on the street light and it's blocking the traffic light. So you're right, there seems to be a lot of laissez-faire in Ghana. Let me go to Kumasi and speak to Bright
on the fire.
My correspondent, one of my correspondents there. So the Doom fire, I saw some of the images, pretty shocking. So Bright Yeboah, Ashanti regional correspondent, is at a Doom market. Bright, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Bright, what can you report? What's going on in the
Doom? Yes, so I'm currently here at the Doom where the fire keeps, in fact, burning. So many shops are actually been burning since the fire started around early part of the morning, around 6 o'clock, where most people basically, in fact, they can't even do what they do. They don't know what they're doing right now. Most of them are running shelter. Some of them actually trying to salvage most of their things. It's really very bad here. Most of them, they don't know what they are doing, running up and down. In fact, I can confirm that I can count about 5 fire tenders here trying to quench the fire, but as it stands,
how big is the area? How big is the area the fire is? Is it a few shops or a large number of shops?
So it's not just shops. We have range of buildings. Currently, about 3 buildings have been gassed. These buildings have so many stores here. So many stores here, and they keep burning. It hasn't stopped. It doesn't look like it's actually going to stop anytime. But the fire service people are still trying to control the fire. Do
you know what time the fire started?
It started in early part of the morning, around 6 o'clock.
So which part of Edum is this? Is this can you describe it for those who know? Which part of Edum are we talking about?
we're talking about the Edu PZ. So from the building just close to, a lot of people actually know where the Hello FM is. The building just adjacent the Hello FM building. That's where it actually started. And actually spreading through to down the footbridge that leads to the Roman Hill. And most people who actually know the Roman Hill too actually will actually understand the number of stores and the number of buildings that actually occupy the place. So it also has actually caught over here, most people know it to be the blue store, the railways, around railways, the Doom Railway, where they sell watches, they sell almost everything here. Bernard.
Wow, so you said there are 5 fire tenders. Does it look like they are able to bring the fire under control since they got there?
Currently, it doesn't look like it. They are currently being overwhelmed with the fire, but they are still trying to do something, but the fire keeps spreading.
Okay, so you stay safe and then we'll come back to you for more reports. Bright, thank you so much. So we have been talking to one of our regional correspondents in Ashanti, and I've seen the videos, we'll put them online. It's quite a big area.
Yeah.
And the fire looks, the plumes of smoke are big.
Big, yeah.
So this is huge.
People should stay safe.
Godfrey, this is my worry about Ghana. For me, when something bad happens, it should give you impetus to take a drastic action.
No.
I think our market fires have gotten to a point where if we have serious leadership within that space, we should be able to use it to make some proper reform. It looks like we are getting used to it. There's a market fire. Another market fire.
The market leadership itself is not interested. And someone who's listening to us on Twitter perhaps tried to offer an explanation. So let me see. Dram Mujet Lee says, guys, the market women fear that having agreed to relocate for redevelopment, they will not get back that space. Their spaces will be sold to persons who have the ability to pay.
But wasn't KJTR rebuilt? KJTR was rebuilt. There were agitations, but largely KJTR is a better version than it was 20 years ago. Indeed, I think
a safer version.
Yes, KJTR was finished around 2015, 2016. Okay, so the examples are there. I feel like there's the will to do it is the issue. Because KJTR is a huge market, right? They've rebuilt it. Kaneshi market is fairly decent in terms of the way it was planned.
Not the way it currently is.
True.
It's a mess.
They try to do parts of Medina market. It's been difficult. You are right. A lot of it is the people in the market themselves don't want change. But
yes.
But that's why you have leadership.
No, because you see, it's an open economic enclave, basically. You can show up today with once you go and you find out the market leadership, perhaps register, pay a bit of a levy, they'll find you space in 24 hours.
But but that's not the problem, so long as there's some structure around how the spaces are allocated.
The spaces are overpopulated. The Kaneshi market is not the space there. The Kaneshi market is the yellow building.
Okay, now let me go back. So
here's the thing. What was the plan for the expansion of the Kaneshi market by the city authorities? That if this market grows, it will go from here to this point, and that without getting in the way of, you see, because my one gripe is we seem to throw away the convenience of everybody else for petty traders and hawkers. I'm not being rude about it.
I get your point.
But it's like everybody else does not matter in the city so long as people who are trading
but you know why?
Who are hawking and who are in some other kind of informal work is okay.
So let me try and make it. So when I was in Medina, I was born in Medina.
Yes.
So I know Medina market very, very well. Medina Airman Council used to be in the market. Medina market was a place you could demarcate. When you get to Zongo Junction, you walk for maybe 200 to 300 meters from your left, the market begins. And the market goes all the way to before the old police station, Medina police station. Okay, now where the new police station is. So Medina police station is the middle of the market. Then you walk towards the post office. On that, they call it Medina Old Road. That's Medina market. So this is in the 90s. Bro, now when you get to Zongo Junction, the market has started. Now the end of Old Road is called Taxi Rank. The market, so Randy Pharmacy, the market is there. Then when you are going towards Ritz Junction, the market used to be from Ritz, there used to be Redco. So from Ritz, you go to Redco before you go to Ritz Junction. The market is basically now at Ritz. And then to then, so basically what used to be like, I don't know how example to use. So what used to be like maybe 5 football fields is now like 70 football fields. And there's all market. And people are selling everywhere. My point is that the local governance of Medina was lazy, because as the market develops, there are ways of managing revenue collection to build it logically. If local government is working. So the reason why the petty trader is a nuisance is that the leadership has not made provision for her.
Yes.
And he hasn't made provision for her because there's no proper system that manages the market in a way that is transparent. Trotro drivers are selling, are doing their,
anywhere.
People have, I don't know. So this is the thing. If you don't break into how we manage the resources of the market tools and all those things, plus any other IGF, you get it, then there's no way you are going to create even a space for hawkers who want to sell. So they'll all go anywhere. So I think it goes back to poor local governance.
Yes.
Which then leads to lawlessness.
Yes.
Okay, then the regional government to Greater Accra region is difficult because Greater Accra, the seat of government is here. So Greater Accra regional minister is that weak. Of course, Henry Kote tried, but I think the new one is not that strong if you look at the way a leader is supposed to be. Then Kumasi is another area. So my issue with Kumasi is that, look, you have the Utumfo in Ashanti. There has to be some collaboration between local governance and traditional authority to bring sanity to the space. I don't know how they do it. A lot of people in Kumasi take the law into their own hands and they give all kinds of excuses. So it's almost, so I think for the Kumasi case, the traditional authority should be stronger in helping local government to work. Do you get it? Because people will be lawless and they will use the name of a chief to do what they do. Do you get it? So whether it's tax payment, organizing a market, but we can't have a one size fits all solution to
of course, every city has its own problems.
You know, I think Kojo Bonsu did a pretty good job in building KJTR market. He had a good relationship initially with the Menchia before his problem started. Okay, but my point is that there's no way this country will develop if local government quality doesn't improve. So maybe it's good they haven't appointed the DCs yet. Maybe it's good because they should look at the challenges for each city peculiarly, and for some of them expand the scope and get better people than they've had in the past. Because if you rush and just name people there, they may not be able to do anything. Okay, so let's let them wait, because Medina is now so huge. Like basically Medina and Adenta is now joined together, and it's a large market. I don't know who's in charge of that market.
Because there's a lot of traffic. Huh?
I mean, traffic. In fact, if you add Zongo to Medina, to Adenta, to Ashalibotre, it's almost like Aswa.
Yes. So the question I'm asking then is, what? So I don't live in that part of town. I have a meeting. Traditionally, it's supposed to perhaps take me 10 minutes to move from the University of Ghana to get to Adenta.
To take you 30 minutes.
It will take me 30 or 40 minutes. Who is thinking about the fact that it's supposed to take a regular person 10 minutes? If it takes the person 40 minutes, why is it taking everybody 40 minutes? But that consideration is never done. The consideration is, people have to earn a living. So forgetting that the person who also has to go from Legon to Adenta also has to earn a living.
Whose job?
One way or the other.
Whose job is it? Is it the transport minister's job to ensure your mobility? Is it the roads minister to make sure
all
the
of them?
Good?
Now here's the thing. Let's take the flower pot one. I haven't used it yet. You have. I've used the Obechebi one. When they build these new roads, and it is integrated into the city's transport system, which of them tells you that buses can't stop here?
Nothing.
So
the signage is even done later.
Yes. No, they just give you Odoko, Odona, Graphic Road.
So they don't even tell you which vehicles are to use what.
You see? Meanwhile, in other places, clearly, you would be told that buses can't stop here. You stop, we'll fine you. And they will actually fine you. So over a period of time, a habit is created where the transport unions themselves know that
we can't
use this road as a pickup lane or something. We can just drive through. So I'll give you, again, let's go back to Obechebi. When you are coming from the Zongo Junction side and you cross Abusio Kai and you are making the right towards to join Graphic Road. As soon as you cross the roundabout towards the Stanbic Bank, everywhere along that section of this new road is a bus stop now. Trotro stop everywhere. As soon as you are making the curve that joins the road, it's a bus stop. How is that? How are Trotros even stopping in that curve? Nobody cares. Just as when you join that lane, and you are now joining from those who are coming from Kaneshi from the top on your right, just before the Goyle and Shell filling stations on your right, like this, opposite former MTN. It's a bus stop.
So basically, people can stop anywhere.
They can, you see, but the nature of this road is such that it's not supposed to be even possible for trotros, taxis to stop and load, but that is the norm. Now, when people know that a trotro stops here, a taxi stops here,
they also go and wait there.
They also wait there.
So that becomes another traffic.
Traffic. So a road that is just supposed to give you easy thoroughfare
becomes
suddenly every 2 meters you have to stop, because there are human beings stopping, there are trotros stopping, there are taxis stopping, there are people hailing them on that side to pick up. Nobody has come out to say that, okay, the nature of this road is such that in this area you can't stop here. If you want to stop, go and stop at this point and walk back.
Let me take a breather. You've succeeded in even depressing me.
Oh, I want to make you happy.
So let me do a few quick announcements, and then I will see what I can do around the subject of urban sprawl. That wasn't my real issue actually this morning. Yeah, but the Lesheho Don't Come campaign has come to you because you deserve financial peace. Life comes with financial challenges, but with Lesheho, you don't have to face them alone. From now till April 30, we've reduced our interest rates just for you. Whether it's education, rent, or unexpected expenses, we've got the right loan to meet your needs. Simply WhatsApp or call 0270-040799 or 0270-040733. Let's make life easier together. Act now before the offer ends. Terms and conditions apply. Lesheho, let's improve life. Your favorite Shell V-Power is now available at all Shell V-Power stations. Visit your favorite V-Power station to experience unbeatable energy performance. Your engine deserves the best, and with Shell V-Power, you can maintain optimal performance with unbeatable protection against performance-robbing engine deposits. Say hello to unbeatable performance with Shell V-Power. Shell Go Well. Zenith Bank recognizes the hard work you do as a woman and the balance you maintain at home, work, and in your business. Let's lend you a helping hand. Well, with Zenith Bank's Women's Desk offering tailored financial services for women, you get easy access to personal loans, business loans, financial literacy programs, and more. Experience true support at Zenith Bank's Women's Desk, available at 37 business locations nationwide. For more information on participating branches, visit www.zenithbank.com.ga. Zenith Bank Women's Banking, developing women with financial solutions. Mommy and daddy, do you know why children leave home very neat and return looking so different? Well, non-stop action, all the learning and sports burns energy. So those sweat stains, torn uniforms, and dirty shoes, they show you, well, they've been active. That's why they need nourishment and energy at breakfast. So give them the nutritious Milo every day. Yeah, Milo contains vitamin D that supports energy release to help their daily performance. Milo, pa 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 pa. You remember that song?
Yeah, Milo.
Yeah, I like it. So energy to go further. Advert is FDA approved. Don't just watch. Feel every moment of passion like a true football fan. From conducting every pass, analyzing every play, and celebrating every goal like it's your own. That's passion felt, lived and shared. When you pay with your MasterCard from now till 30 April, you can win an all-expense-paid 3-day viewing experience at the UEFA Champions League final for you and your friends at the Aqua Safari Resort. Go to priceless.com/UEFA. Terms and conditions apply. Let me do a few birthday requests and then come back to the discussion on Accra, Kumasi, Tamale and all these places. Happy blessed birthday to Kufta Diallo of Creative Hub. Cheers to another bright year, little bro. Your sister Fatima of Kamshi Sense and beyond, wishing you a happy birthday, Kufta. And then another one coming in to Prophet William Addison of Eagles House Chapel International. You are indeed a blessing to your generation. Love you from your wife Sarah and your son Jasper. Enjoy the special day. Happy birthday to Francisca and Audrey Fossen. Today is your birthday, celebrating the best of both worlds. Yeah, law, media, architecture, design, all of that in a wonderful, wonderful celebration. So many comments coming up on this matter. Here's a few. Kumasi is one of the most lawless places on earth. It's surprising that the Asantini hasn't leveraged its immense power and authority to bring some order to the city. This coming from a listener who's very concerned.
Yeah. A couple more. Kokubansa says, the military and the police service have been serviced enough. It's about time we focus our attention on servicing the National Fire Service. This is Kokubansa. Good morning, guys. I trust you are doing well. Yes, we are. I think you should call our authorities and ask them questions about the Agbogbosi settlement and why they are allowing resettlement of the people fin from them. Oh, we did so last month. Hello, Ben and team. As we celebrate Ghana Month and discuss cleanliness in the city, I have a few questions about the capital.
It's called Heritage Month. It's not Ghana Month.
Yes, Heritage Month. What is the capital of Ghana? Who designated it as the capital? Is there any document to support this decision? How long has Accra been the capital? Are there plans to relocate the capital? Kind regards, Divine. Bernard, come to Accra Central. Right from Kingsway to UTC, traders are sharing the road with vehicles. What boss me Accra is the railway bus stop. It was expanded so trotros will get enough space to park and not interfere with the road. But what do we see today? Hawkers and sellers have taken over that space. Joseph from Cantamanto is very annoyed this morning. Bernard,
yes,
the guys, they hawk around Christ the King Junction all the way to the foot of the overpass during rush hours. They even rest at the Flagstaff House bus stop. What Godfrey is saying is true. In Dubai, there's a place called Dera. You cannot sell in the city center because there are premium hotels and shopping malls. You go further south, it's the Ashanti town, where you will see street hawkers all over the place. Bernard, the resettlement at Agbogbosi is because NDC won the election. The NPP wanted them out, the NDC wants them there. I'm surprised you are surprised. Bukati from New Ningo.
Lord.
Bernard, on this issue of markets, I visited Adenta Market and it's so neat and well ventilated, has so much parking space and social amenities. I was shocked to hear patrons complain it's a bit expensive and rather go to the kiosk in Medina. I feel Ghanaians just don't want development. I have stopped going to Medina because at Adenta, I can park and shop safely with my family. Kojo from Ajingano.
I want listeners to tell me whether they agree with Kojo or not. Kojo says Ghanaians don't want development. That a well-demarcated, neat market does not attract patronage because we say that things are expensive. And then we'll go to... Me, I haven't gone to Medina Market properly in almost 10 years. What? I can't
you can't survive.
Meanwhile, I was literally born in the market.
Yeah.
But I can't. It's too much for me now.
Anyway, I'm coming. I'll give you an example. So, dear City CBS, on the issue of markets, the chaos in the market is because the city is expanding without new markets to serve the new areas. Take Medina, for example. It serves the residents from Medina all the way to Dodowa and Ebri. There should have been a market around Amrahia or Oyibi. This is Hafiz.
Well, that's a very good point. But you see, sometimes you have one big market that attracts. You know, we are not trying to break down markets to make them smaller.
Yeah.
If you live in and around this enclave, what are the big markets you can go? I'm talking about Medina, Legon, Adenta, Achimota, Domi Market, Medina Market. Adenta Market is small. So yes, the Medina Market, I think apart from Agbogbosi and Accra and maybe Kaswa,
yes,
the biggest market, in fact, Medina Market is probably one of the 10 biggest markets in the country.
Okay.
It's huge. It's massive. You know, my point is that the Medina Assembly ought to do much better in even demarcating the spaces, collecting revenue, and making the place a bit more manageable.
Yeah.
I don't think they've done that.
They've just left it to itself.
That's what we do.
You can do whatever you want there.
It's just amazing. So you don't, and for me, it's governance. Local governance is very weak.
Because local governance is very much focused on votes.
And then we are going to make it worse then, because now that we are going to ask for mayors to be voted from partisan lines, that's not going to make anything better.
Yeah, but the point is,
so when it means that the people don't want good things, then it means that Kojo is right.
Yes,
it means that Ghanaians,
I agree with Kojo.
Ghanaians
100%.
don't want.
No,
but is that true? But so why did they complain?
Oh no, because we like to complain because it's fun to complain.
Oh, are you serious that they don't want development? That if they see a well-planned market with good amenities, they will not patronize it?
No, they will patronize it. Those who want to patronize it will patronize it. But then people will also sit back and figure out, oh, okay, so this bus stop here, the truck I can just park here. So let me move my table slightly to the road so that I will gain an advantage. Now, when that happens, nobody within the market space will come and say, you can't be here. There are supposed to be rules about market. Look, I grew up in Dansuman. Those who grew up in Dansuman around the time when the old control market was there. Now, the old control market is where you now have the Shell filling station, the Burger King, Starbites, that enclave. That is where that used to be the old market. And that served Dansuman. Bernard, it wasn't an ultra-modern market. It had the wooden store tables and whatnot. Ask anybody who lived in Dansuman in the early 90s whether that place was ever dirty. That is where everybody who lived in Dansuman
went to
shop.
So what has changed?
Then we built the new market slightly down the road, well demarcated with the parking lanes. There's a fire station at the back. It is total chaos in this rather modern infrastructure that we have. And this was, the place is heaven, and that place smells. The old market was there for close to 40 years. Bernard, on Sundays, when we close from church, Emmanuel Presby, we walk through the market.
Can you imagine?
To go home.
With no problem.
With no problems. Bernard,
today,
if I tell you to go and stand by the gutter or at the new market, you will die.
So whilst we say we are in a modern time, we actually gone backwards.
Yes, and you see, the thing is,
backwards.
The same problem we've seen with Kanishi or any other modern market is what we've seen there. And perhaps that's also born out of the rules of the market not being enforced, the local assembly not being interested in enforcing their own local rules on where one can be, because you've built as a market. Now, the front part of the market is where I'm supposed to park my car and enter the market. Where I'm supposed to park my car,
somebody has taken over.
It's the market itself now.
So there's no parking.
So where should I park my car? Now, you have created a space for trotros station, for the trotros to park, offload and go. Right? Now, where the trotro station is, there are 3 wache joints. There is 2 kenke joints. There is 1 nama joint.
All on the same lane.
On the same lane. Okay? So if even 3 trotros show up at the same time, that road is closed. So you have now roads entering the main road opposite what used to be Gold House. So that place is totally chaotic. Now at the back, where the fire station is, you have people who have turned it into a poultry farm and goat farm.
Oh gosh.
Middle of Dansuman.
Poultry farm and a goat farm.
And it's a slaughterhouse as well. They kill the chickens there.
Same place.
The same place. They are boiling the chickens there. Like the old fashioned, the tripod is there. They are killing the chickens. They are killing the goats. They are doing everything there. But that wasn't part of the original design. So there is no the original design created room for a slaughterhouse. He's inside. The butcher is inside. But all the others have been allowed to come outside. Now, here's the thing. Opposite where these people have set up is a whole estate. I think it belongs to one of the ministries or so. So Bernard, this person is expecting that, oh, I have some guests coming. You open your gate,
then you have,
and you are met with chickens, goats, excreta, everything. And the thinking of the city is you cannot complain because somebody must earn a living. So somebody must earn a living. I can't sleep in peace. You see, it's like we've told ourselves quality of life of the basic Ghanaian doesn't matter. All that matters is you must earn daily bread.
Maybe,
and it doesn't matter how you earn the daily bread.
Maybe we should ask Ghanaians in a survey what they really want in life. Because I think that, here's another message who agrees with Kojo. He says, Bernard, I agree with Kojo, the texter. A dental market is clean. You don't see foodstuffs on the bare floor. I love to shop there. No kayayi. Market women can help you with your stuff to your car. Sane environment. But people will not go to Medina, a dental market. They would rather go to Medina.
Why? Maybe they'll tell you that it's cheaper.
It's a dream, because I always tell people that you go to Medina market, you go and park at some place, or you take a trolley, then you walk for another 500 meters to enter and buy a Agbelima for 2 cedis less than you buy it in a Adenta, and you think you have done something great. The one that you buy in a Adenta for 2 extra cedis isn't. So you see, people calculate money from a very strange perspective. Going to that Medina market chaos to go and buy the variety you buy at maybe 5 cedis cheaper.
You shortened your life.
You are smelling bad fumes. You're probably going to fall in the gutter. You are going to buy food that's less hygienic.
Robbed.
You get it? So I think that our thinking is a problem.
Let me read one message for you, Bernard. Charlie. On this matter. Abeko, help me out.
Our thinking is a problem, Ghanaians. We don't want good things.
Abeko, help me out a bit.
We don't want good things. So many comments on that.
Oh, a lot. So let me do this round. Bernard, are the authorities aware a section of the Tetekwashi roundabout is gradually turning into a total station? That's what
It has become.
What are we doing to ourselves? Anyone can get up and just start anything without any regulation.
Oh, God.
That same Tetekwashi, someone is mounting a billboard that will potentially block the view of drivers. And no one is saying anything. Ghana is lawless. And you see, here's the thing about that Tetekwashi thing. This is supposed to be prime Accra.
Charlie?
If somebody can get up and set up trotro station in prime Accra without city authorities noticing, without city authorities acting, what makes you think that they are concerned about Abuglushi? Let me continue. Ghanaians want development and change as a concept, but not in action.
Sorry, Ghanaians want
development and change as a concept, but not in action. This is really nice. Most aren't ready to do what it takes for change to happen. If the change doesn't affect their way of life, they are happy once it impacts them directly, and they complain left and right if it doesn't. Guys, in Ghana, there is no proper planning around the development of our cities. Everything is allowed to slide in the name of political expediency, and man must eat. Structures or kiosks come up everywhere, and there's no proper bifurcation between what is commercial space and what is a residential space. If you complain, you are too known. I was shocked when I saw people hanging and selling clothes on top of the overhead pedestrian walkway at Spanner, right in front of Villaggio. That is the spine of the city. How do city authorities even allow this to happen and not do anything about it? We are going nowhere. We are going to where only God knows. Edem from East Legon.
Charlie, this
Bernard,
is worse than I
the
thought.
reason hawkers are not in front of the Flagstaff has nothing to do with the fear of authorities. The simple truth is that there isn't enough traffic or footfall in that area to make it a viable spot for their business. Hawkers go to where the people are, where there's demand for their goods and services. The Flagstaff House, being secured a less crowded area, doesn't offer the bustling environment they need to thrive. This isn't about intimidation. It's purely about economics and practicality. If we want to address the issue of hawkers in certain places, we need to focus on providing them with better, more accessible locations where they can operate without disrupting traffic or public order.
Yeah, that's the point, because they sell in front of the former president's house.
Where? Nima
police station, Nima traffic light, they sell there. The president lives just across, the former president. So they are not afraid. So, yeah.
Oh, Bernard.
Yeah.
I work in Tamale, and I returned to Accra last week. was absolute chaos.
How?
Buying things and moving was so difficult.
Ah.
I wrote an entire piece called Urban Chaos. How can I send it to you or Godfred to read? Jay from Medina.
Jay, just send it by WhatsApp to this. No, send
to
it,
this number.
Send it to
this number.
A Word document to this number.
Yes.
Then my Abeku will
deal with it
for me.
Good morning, Aloski and team. Good morning. Please, the footbridge in front of Kaneshi is occupied with hawkers.
Kaneshi Market.
Yes, Kaneshi Market is occupied with hawkers and traders, and it is filled with filth and is dirty with plastics hanging on the handrails.
Oh,
please, you guys should go and visit the place for the authorities to do something about it. Thanks and keep up the good. The authorities are there. They haven't seen it.
Ghanaians, do we want clean environment? Do we want neat markets? What do we want?
Bernard, the kind of compulsion or brute force, uncompromising, sustained strictness needed to change things cannot be found in this democracy created and perpetuated over the years. This is why I'm sure at the rate the political, technocratic, bureaucratic leadership has prosecuted the hypocritical development agenda, Ghana will eventually come to destruction. Oh, Tofik, Lakeside Estate.
Very fatalistic part.
Tofik from Lakeside Estate says, good morning. How do you discuss markets and forget about the Nima market? Bernard, we need to rezone our markets and lorry stations.
I've driven to Nima Market. No, I won't say Nima Market, just through Nima a few times.
Yes.
I mean, because I'm a Medina person, nothing in Nima shocks
you.
I mean, no, Medina and Nima is the same. So, it's probably, I don't know. But I think we need to think about the point Kojo made, that Adenta Market is relatively neat. There are no kayaye because, usually kayaye are needed because where your vehicle is and where you buy the thing is long. So they need to help you. Adenta Market is not that way. They properly built it and they don't put food on the floor. They are stalls. People don't patronize it a lot.
And just look, Bernard,
maybe because they don't have variety.
This is my good friend Ohini Brenya at Happy FM just took a video this morning on his way to work of the Tetekwashi Trotro station. Look, the city authority.
It's becoming bad, eh?
It's like, Bernard, I mean, we'll try and put it on our socials for people to look at, but take a look. And
it's a
full-blown Trotro station. The city authorities need to take some action. And you know what? When you are
with buses and things,
and everything, and the Kufor site, when you are coming from,
they call it Spana Junction.
Yeah, when you are coming, I'm just saying when you are coming from Jolu, so from Fiesta.
Yeah.
As you enter to join the roundabout, on your right,
yes,
they've turned it into a Trotro station as well.
Near Kufor's house.
Yes, that's side.
Oh,
so you have Trotros joining the road as a station from where they've parked these old Land Rovers that are used as tow trucks.
Okay, good, perfect. Shouldn't the question be, why aren't we building proper stations for them? You see,
no,
because if
I even let you ask that question.
Why is it not a question?
No, you see, because they are supposed to know where they can be and where they cannot be. We cannot use convenience as an excuse. Otherwise, everywhere is convenient.
Okay.
People will tell you that, what the workers who live in the area, where should they get buses to work?
They should stop at the bus stop.
But there's a bus stop. That whole interchange was designed with a massive bus stop. The bus stop under that footbridge that crosses to the Accra.
So they don't need a proper station.
Bus stop.
They don't need a proper station there.
No,
because there's even now another station that's developed there, which takes you to Ho, Aflao, Denu, and things. There's another lorry station there.
But the point is, we put a mall there, right? Now, where that mall is, we now have two Trotro stations. I don't know which one of them is legal.
We have a market.
We have a market within the garden that was created, as far as we don't like gardens and flowers. That was supposed to be an open space for people. We've turned it into an alternative Accra Mall. City authorities are looking on. Why? Because people have to earn a living.
Do we even have city authorities?
Yeah.
Who is the mayor?
That one is that not part of Lekma or Lakma? You know that place well.
It's mixed up. It's become Ayawaso Westward.
I'm always confused.
It's about 3.
Let me read messages for you.
Gosh.
Bernard,
Charlie.
That fellow is right. Ghanaians aren't prepared for actual development. We like the optics. This sort of development we keep talking about means certain uncomfortable things, like increased regulation that entails individual freedoms we currently enjoy, such as the ability to burn your own rubbish in your backyard, or set up a kiosk to sell your home-cooked meals in your neighborhood. Remember when market women in the past complained about moving to a newly built and paved space? Who is going to tell the trotro driver that he will be fined if he parks 5 meters away from a designated spot? Do you remember when the Spanner Bridge was built and a fence erected in the middle of the road to prevent crossing? I recall seeing someone climbing through a gap in the fence to get to the other side. We are not ready for proper rule of law. Our revealed preference is for our petty freedoms. Jojo from Lashibi with a really good message there. Richard from Community 18 says, human beings are all lawless. The only thing that keeps us in line is law. When Ghanaians go to JFK, they are in line. In Kotoka, they are not in line. Chaotic. It's just about human beings. Solution. Local governance should work with market queens and kings to plan it properly and be fair. I agree with Kojo with 100 bags of cement. And by Kojo, he means the person who sent that message. The only country that is developing backwards is Ghana. Ghanaians simply do not want development.
So the people who are talking, and you and I, what are we? Are we the minority, or are we hypocritical, or are we? Because most people who listen to the show say they agree with the things we are saying, yet most people do opposite to what we are saying. So I don't know, Ghanaians. I'm okay. I don't even know. Should we now go and say, let's raise a new breed of teenagers and youth?
No.
To now come and live because this generation is lost?
No. What? Again, let me ask this question. Like for the residents, and my good friend former refugee Amenya, he says, Charlie, he's upset with Accra. He says Tetekwashi's an eyesore.
Oh.
And also says we should talk about the stations on the motorway, Manet Junction, and the link to Trasako.
Good.
You know that part of
Let me read a message that came in relation to the new Manet Road and an accident that it caused.
Okay, tell me about it.
Actually, I don't know why he said good evening.
It became late.
He sent it later, but I didn't see it. So he sent this like yesterday or so. My name is Kojo. I got your number from a friend. I'd like to brief you about a terrible accident that happened on Monday, 17 March, on the new road that has just been constructed from Palace Mall all the way to Manet, or the Tessie Link Road. It's like a 3 stretches of road.
Okay.
2 lane, 2 lane, 2 lane, from Palace Mall all the way to Tessie.
Proper road, eh?
Very good road.
Okay.
Now, a vehicle on reaching the roundabout at the Regimano Estate veered off the road and ran into a cafe which has just been wrongly cited on the road reservation. LECMA's attention was drawn to this in January, as well as urban roads, and before the accident, the Ministry of Highways, but nothing was done. This accident on 17th March is one of many that has happened at the same place since February 2025. I'm willing to provide you with more information about this for you to discuss on radio, to get the relevant authorities to act to prevent more accidents at that spot. You can call me when it's convenient for you. Kindly keep my name and number confidential. So he sends a video, and I know that road very well. What is even funny is that on Sundays, a church blocks 1 lane of that road. So there are 3. So you see the Tessie Link Road.
Yeah.
So it's a very convenient road. So the old Spintex Road, now you only use it if you really want to drop people off the shops on that road. So if you're coming from Spintex and you want to get to Palace quickly, you just use, when you get to Frames Oil, you just veer off briefly to Tessie, and then you take this 3-lane road. On Sundays, there's a church. I think it's Synagogue Church. Their church members park. So there are 3 roads. One next to the church, one in the middle, and one on the left. They park like, say, 1 kilometer.
Hey!
So the whole road in front of the church, in fact, their security guards basically just
take over the road.
They conduct traffic.
They coordinate traffic.
So they leave 2 of the roads for us, and they've now built a new KFC at some shell there. So that whole place is just on Sundays.
It's a madhouse.
Now this guy is saying that the way the roundabout was done, a cafe has been wrongly cited, and the people who designed the road know this, but they couldn't do anything about it. I am getting to believe that maybe the person who texted and said Ghanaians like change as an academic
as a concept
idea. We like the idea of change, but when it has to do with our behavior, I don't like it. My only concern is people discuss this from a point of view of, well, if you don't bring brute force, people will not conform. There's a big gap between being in a society of rule of law and being lawless.
Yes.
I think institutions should be made to work by leaders who insist on the right things being done. Okay, it's not that we need brute force. I think people who lead are not enforcing the law using the available structures.
Yes.
So there's courts.
They just ignore it.
Yes, there's fines. People don't want to do the difficult work of leadership. What they want to do is they want to point the finger at somebody else and they don't want to take this decisive action. I know that many Ghanaians will try and cut corners when they run into trouble. They'll call one or two people. But if you call and you don't get anybody helping you, you will do the right thing. You get it? People believe they have the right to like they are exceptional. So if we do the wrong, it shouldn't affect us. Everybody else is wrong. That's part of our problem. I also think that local governance has been weakened continuously because of the way our politics works.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if voting for local government leaders is the issue. I think it's choosing better people or making the position a position that people arrive at by merit. All right. The central government needs to understand that for Ghana to develop, local governance must be strong. And so it's not just having great ministers, but it's having solid. I made this proposal and it was not taken, that the best quality people in this NDC should be made DCs.
Yes.
They didn't listen to me.
We haven't seen the list yet.
Well, so maybe there are some good, but most of the people have been appointed already.
Can I ask you something? Have you ever on a regular day, and listeners can also answer this question, met any of high-ranking leaders, politicians taking walks in the city before?
They do it sometimes at dawn.
Where? Like in their neighborhoods? Where?
Those days that I used to use the airport enclave from Association School to appear at Gold House. Once or twice I'll see a couple of people. Sometimes East Legon, I'll see one or two people. Sometimes you see people on the Mahama Road.
Not regular people. Like I'm saying, that's not you.
No, I don't know. I don't know where our political Roman. I know where they live.
Yes, so that's why I'm asking the general public.
No, our politicians live around cantonments, Roman Ridge, Laboni.
So they can take walks there.
I don't know. Maybe in Adon. So, for example, behind Parliament, some of them live in some of those estates behind Parliament all the way through Osu.
You know why I'm asking this? Because in my 17 years as a reporter, on various assignments, one of the big things I learned was that our politicians love nature.
They do, eh?
They love nature.
Are you sure?
They love nature walks. They like sitting in parks. They like places with structure and form. Because you meet them at all those places when you're on assignment with them.
They love nature as a concept.
No. They love nature. I was in Gabon on assignment somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Bernard, I was there for a month and a half.
And you saw our politicians?
Every single day when I wake up and I'm standing in front of my balcony, I see our politicians taking walks, having chats.
And
they will sit down in some park. You see them having their drinks. You are walking through town somewhere, you see them in their shorts. They are sitting down happily, and I'm asking myself, hey, so can you where
so
you know what is nice,
and you come to your own country, you make it nice.
One of them, there was an incident I recall, I will not mention the person's name, where within like 30 minutes the police resolved the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And this politician was amazed at how that situation was resolved, the speed, the modernity of it.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't shut up about it.
Mm-hmm.
And continued on his lovely walk that morning.
Mm-hmm.
The evenings as well, you will meet them. I recall another assignment elsewhere. I was in some part of town doing my own thing.
So your conclusion is what?
No, my conclusion is I don't meet them here. And I'm a mover. And by mover I mean like Michinkakra in the city. And maybe others too. So I'm asking like our listeners, do they meet them? Because these are not posh areas I'm talking about when we travel. These are places that will be considered a regular part of where you find yourself in the city. But they are able to some of them take 1 hour walks.
Let me ask another question.
You hold on for me if you don't mind.
Okay.
So the question I ask myself is, obviously,
they
when they walk,
nice.
they ponder about these things. They are amazed.
You wonder what
by
they're thinking
these things.
about, though.
But I will meet the same person who comes to Ghana and runs a city, a town, an assembly, and can't seem to do anything proper.
Somebody said our local authorities have no authority. No, I wanted to ask whether it's salvageable in this 4 years.
It is.
Would it just take appointing a different caliber of people? Because there's a view that even appointing the best person without the right structures may not work. So is our problem of solid good leaders or trustworthy institutions of state? So let me give you an example. Let's take Adenta, which both or Dansoman. George Bray was your MC for some time.
Yes.
Okay. Even if I make Chenche, who's somebody I like a lot, I see him as somebody who tried his bit in Accra. If I make Chenche the DCE for Ablekuma West, can he do anything? Because he may mean well, he may have the knowledge and experience, he may be a quality man, but with the kind of system that you people run in Dansoman, Glefe, and then those your places, if he is the MCE, can he do anything? Will his assembly allow him?
Why not?
Because the institution of an assembly versus the person. So I'm pushing.
True.
If you appoint a Chenche as the MCE for Dansoman,
for Ablekuma West,
good. Does it take a solid, strong, fearless leader to bring change? Or does it take a patient, thoughtful institution builder whose job is not even to show that he's strong? So maybe I think what we need is the latter, where you get somebody who say, you know what, I don't even want to do plenty interviews. But if we can build Ablekuma West Assembly to have the right technocrats, for the assembly to all agree on certain things we do, to do community engagement. Do you follow me? So maybe the next crop of MCs should focus more on institution building. Do you get it? So that the institution of the assembly can be more effective rather than showing bravado and I'm strong. Because you've seen that the Henry Cote model is not sustainable. Okay? It's only a matter of time that people will come against you. So the good news is that they haven't nominated any DC yet. So maybe in choosing DCs, they should look for people who can help the institution to thrive. Build a strong assembly. Work with the assembly men and women to build consensus on what people want to do. Instead of maybe somebody who come and do Rambo style, don't park here, hey, don't do this. Because if the assembly structure works, he has a revenue system, he knows how to organize market collection, he's accountable to the people. And the assembly has different, maybe his town country planner, they are all working. Maybe that gives us a better chance.
It could, but also
you get it? Because sometimes trying to implement change versus trying to build an institution may fight against each other.
Yes.
And I feel like the change implementers like Henry Cote and Co. only succeed for 3-4 months and then they bola.
Yes.
But if you bring people who strengthen the institution to work even without their direct involvement, maybe in 10 years we can change.
They bola because the center does not support them.
Yes.
One, the center never backs them because in the end, the center always makes a voting decision. In our peculiar case. 2, in terms of getting the support of the assembly, I think the biggest disadvantage we have is the lack of participation sometimes of people with understanding of how a space should be governed at the assembly level. I don't mean to sound derogatory, but if we're honest with ourselves, sometimes the people we meet and call, who are we call assemblyman, assemblywoman, their regular understanding of what development of spaces and planning is, sometimes it's even limited. It's sometimes their knowledge is very basic. Most of them occupy the roles because it's a means to an end, not because they are actually there to contribute,
or they are even qualified,
or they are qualified for it. So that is also a part of the scenario that needs to be fixed. In again, my experience from Ablekuma West, maybe Kweku Samini might be.
Who is that?
Samini's big brother. He's my assemblyman. Might be the most progressive assemblyman I have had in my adult life.
Is he still there?
Yes, Kweku Samini is still assemblyman. Last I checked.
Mm.
And even with that, he has limitations. You understand? And I'm sure that might be the case for most parts of.
But to the extent
the
that,
city.
so to the extent that the center will not support change makers, the center cannot oppose institution builders. So maybe let's focus on institution builders, because that's quiet. He's building an assembly.
Can you build it quietly?
Yes. If, for example, you are working on.
How do I took you?
Oh no! If you are just quietly, means you are more thoughtful about your process.
Yes.
So let me give you 3 ways. For example, you are doing.
But it still impacts people
in a positive way, and you are not disruptive. You see, the recording model is we will go and we will stop the nonsense and we'll make sure things work. Everybody takes notice of that. People start praising you, and then all of a sudden you get attention, and then you start affecting people, and you can be blamed. But if an assembly says, I'm going to manage space in a more coordinated way, I'm going to build a strong institution, it's more latent. Okay, but you realize that, oh, these people are making enough revenue to run the city. These people are getting the city to be more organized. And you can't even attribute it to one person. It's the assembly that just works. Maybe we should focus on that, building the institution of the assemblies better, so that whoever you put on top of it, the institution is so powerful that it works. Because for me, we are always looking for men to come and save us. And there's no savior anywhere. Because whatever they start, the center will not support it. And they can easily be targeted. But if an assembly is effective, the town planners, the health people, the market people, they are working well. Maybe that one, there's nobody to target. So then that can be more sustained. Let's think about that. I'll take a break. We need ideas, because it's very frustrating living in our city. The Kumasi fire is big. We're told they're trying to bring it under control. And my colleagues in Kumasi will cross over to them again. We'll speak to somebody as well on who knows a bit more about petty traders. He's written a book on them, so he'll probably give us some insight into.
And Delali Dogla Besa has shared a video of the church you were talking about.
Oh,
but this is bad.
So on Sunday morning, there, if you're not
how do you turn a major road into a one lane?
Yeah, you take one lane because they are parked, and they even have security men who will help you to redirect.
And the police allow it?
Well, maybe there's a new IGP, so maybe we don't know.
Hey,
we'll take a break. Stay with us.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
For free. Provident Insurance Bema Quentway on Dessa. If January equals March 2025. What the insurance one some shop Provident Insurance and sa. Some will renew and now we have for Penya Chadiapi. Emu fuel coupons and Provident Souvenirs Papa B. Enti wo chadi. One year WhatsApp assistant or buy and chat is here. 024-242-6396. Obeso to out Obetumin Swap 15 branches. Yet to a petigan and a mobile. Obetumin Sunny brokers and agents in the mobile this our swap. Janami and Sunny na Provident Insurance as some Ghana man some power Makonia Badi wa Bambo Massa special for you for Kaisan check a
with Provident, man, you're covered.
Hey, dear sir. And you stay soft concentrate fabric softener. I was such it move. Just send it this say be here met na oche. Ni here net na oche. No bia baby some want some demoni ni na say. Dear ni say. Use Stay Soft and you are it now. Nani boss to tap from cry. A fabric softener. A year near says, choose to Stay Soft. No news so say no. FDIG a getting crack to yat.
Dear home, no interest for 2 years. Are you ready to step into your dream home? With Lakeside Estates' exclusive offer, you can own your own home in just 2 years with no interest payment. This offers you affordable payments, flexible home purchase plan, quality homes, and lifestyle change. Choose from a variety of beautiful homes in any of Lakeside Hills clusters. Your future awaits you. Imagine living in a home you love with the freedom to invest in your dreams without the burden of interest. As your CIS KMG Real Estate Company of the Year for the 4th time, we offer you hassle-free home acquisition. Call us today on 020-477-5043 or 020-477-5042. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Call us now to learn more and schedule a tour for our available homes. T&C supplied. Make your dream a reality. Lakeside Estate. Quality homes for all.
Hello, please, I'm calling from Customer Experience Center.
That's a lie. He's calling you from a guest house in Asylum Down.
Please, an SMS was delivered across to our customers this morning. Didn't you receive any SMS or you haven't checked?
The truth is that he's a scammer.
Please kindly cross-check your message to be sure about this because your account requires an update.
This is where they play games with your mind.
Without you updating, you won't be able to access your account for any transaction, either outgoing or incoming.
Your bank or service provider will never call or text asking you to update your account or verify sensitive information like your PIN, Ghana card or bank card details. Looks can be deceiving. Pay better attention to details to avoid getting scammed. For more information, visit www.ecobank.com. Ecobank, a better way, a better Africa. Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
Maya ketechwe Niniani munyamti Abusianti miashabasi Maswani maswaswa Ikomu buo Ei pantimai Eko papa misun soso Eko papa nsuwa misun ketechwe Abebe yensa Yayimi muo Okajay, Abusia Kaimiaja, Papa Bay and Fremi, Mina Bonisami, Anoma to pray. Mina Sunsam.
So it's 9:24, and we are basically just
chatting,
overwhelmed by the way Accra has become. Somebody had a very interesting take on this.
Okay, tell me.
It says, Bernard, the whole problem of Ghana is a super wicked territorial spirit.
A what?
Super wicked territorial spirit.
Hey, yes.
No amount of theorizing or solution-based approach will help.
Okay.
You just have to give up.
Let me read more for you. Kofi from Spintex says, every day I wonder if we even deserve good roads. The number of accidents on the new road adjacent to Spintex is unbelievable. Despite the runabout, drivers speed recklessly and ignore the right of way. It's just terrible. Hello, Bernard. Our biggest problem as a nation is self-righteousness. Everyone is wrong and we are right, and have been privileged enough to have politicians to blame. Bernard, go to the Upper West. There are countless newly constructed markets, and the people are fighting authorities to move in. We are just not ready for development. Thank you. This is Justice from 37.
There's another one here. It says, we who are listening and contributing are just a handful. Majority don't care anymore because Ghanaians in general are hypocrites. Even Adenta Flat is now flooded with kiosks, which wasn't allowed in the past.
Yeah.
The assemblymen and city guards were the ones aiding those allocating, and the MCs couldn't stop them because they are party foot soldiers. And you're not in Adenta. It says, change can only happen if people like you and I join assemblies. As your colleague just said, the current assembly system we are running, 99% of the assembly members are limited in terms of understanding. They are just there for a means of living, not for any serious development, and normally those in the kiosk are the ones that vote for them. The current system, MCs cannot do much. The assembly members are all party affiliated. Take it from me. Local government is not working. Having worked in an assembly for 14 years is frustrating. even the professionals have been turned by party politics into local government. Bernard, Ghana pa. Well, let's speak to the professor. I'm trying to get his name. Just give me a second. You sent it to me. Okay. Listeners, forgive us. Sometimes we get calls.
We get caught up in
it. Dr. James Mensah, who is at the University of Ghana Business School, and I believe has done a publication, Your Rights and Duties as an Informal Trader, October 2024. I just want to understand where angle is coming from. So, Dr. James Mensah, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard.
So, thanks for reaching out. So, what angle do you want to come from? Is it the hawkers and the way they sell anywhere? Is it the way trust stations evolve? Is it markets that are not working? What angle are you coming from?
Thank you so much, Bernard. I am often worried about the situation in Accra. Meanwhile, Assembly or MMDAs have been given enough rights to manage the space. For instance, the MMDAs have the right to come out with bylaws. So if you look at AMA has a set of bylaws that guides almost everything in Accra. If you go to their latest bylaw, which is the 2017 bylaws, hawkers have bylaws. As a hawker, you need to have a license before you can hawk. You need to wear certain uniform. You need to be fit, assessed by a medical officer before you can hawk in Accra. You need to be of a certain age. The same thing, if you take traders, they need to have a license before they trade. If you take hawkers, everybody, all these things are stated in their bylaws. So in 2 years ago, I consulted for WIGO. WIGO is Women in Informal Economy, Globalizing and Organizing. So we examine all the bylaws in AMA, and we try to put it simple for the informal sector workers so that they will understand what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do in Accra. So my point is that the city needs to engage these workers, because there are certain spaces that they are supposed to sell, that there are certain places that they are not supposed to sell. There are certain things. In fact, you need to acquire a license. The truth of the matter is that everybody who works in this space has a license, and they pay daily tolls. So the city is virtually aware of these people operating in this space.
So are you saying that is the assemblies that are just derelicting their duty, that they have the mandate and the power to do the right thing, they just don't want to do it? Is that what you're saying?
They have the mandate, and they have come out with bylaws, and the bylaws actually state what everybody is supposed to do within this space. Unfortunately, it appears like engagement is not happening. So, for instance, WIGO has taken upon itself to continuously engage market traders, informal waste collectors, and hawkers in Accra. We have met them several times, told them about their rights and their responsibilities, what they're supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do. All teased out from the Local Governance Act and the AMA bylaws. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So my point is, did you engage them in the formulation of these bylaws? Do you disseminate this to these people? Because the bylaws are there. You disseminate it to them. Do you engage them on these bylaws?
Or maybe the problem is beyond the existence of laws to the competence of those running the assemblies in the ability to implement the law. Because clearly the laws are there, but if they are not being implemented, either the people are unwilling or unable to. So maybe we should look beyond the existence of laws to the quality of people who work in these assemblies.
Bernard, this is a very important topic that you have raised. So, for instance, if we take assembly members are virtually like the MPs that we have at Parliament, because the assembly works in the same way the Parliament works. Now, if you look at the quality of the assembly members they have, some of them are not up to the task. Very few are up to the task, but we will not also get the quality because, first, assembly members are not paid. The tax on them is so huge. If you have ever interacted with somebody who has contested as an assembly member before, you will see the enormity of the tax. People turn their houses into eateries every day. They are there to eat. Somebody's wife has a problem, you have to intervene. So the tax is so much on them that we need first competent people, and we need to remunerate these people so that at least they will do their work.
So maybe the idea to pay them could help to get better people. Is that what we're saying? Because we are told that because a lot of them are political people, they know there's not really a merit-based system of appointing assemblymen, and that's where it starts from. That if the people in the assembly are not development focused or development oriented, there's no way they can supervise anything to be more to bring sanity into our spaces. So the mode of selection should be where the conversation starts from.
So in the election of assembly members, there are things that are on paper and there are things that happen informally. For instance, I know that when you are contesting, political parties try to know, are you on our side or not? And if 2-3 people are on the side of party A, they call them and then they do informal, primaries, and decide that this person should go. For me, over the years, I have argued that the local government and especially the association of the local government, that is NALAG, should actually begin to train people to enter into the assembly. So I have developed a concept called Assembly Members Boot Camp for them, and I hope that very soon they will roll it out, so that in the universities they try to fish out people, give them the necessary training, so that when they go back to their various communities, they can begin to contest as assembly members, so that the quality of the people we are going to get in the assembly is going to be good for us, because they approve almost everything at the assembly. The medium-term development plan, they have to approve it. The budget of the assembly, they have to approve it. So we need quality people. And before we can get this quality, we must be intentional about it. Even if the political parties are going to do their primaries to allow one person to contest, at least the people who express interest will be people of high quality, and then the parties can do their informal primaries and select one of them to go, so that at least they will be able to hold both the administrative staff and the head of the assembly, that is the that is the district chief executive or municipal chief executive or metropolitan chief executive.
We'll leave it here. Thank you, Dr. James Mensah. And please send us the publication. He's done a book on the issue of petty traders, and he's contributing. He's at the University of Ghana Business School. His book is titled Your Rights and Duties as an Informal Trader. There's an angle to this as well about the mode of selection of assembly, because I think the idea of change maker DCE may not work, because the politics will not allow it. So the mode of selection of the assembly, so the quality of the people in assembly is one, and then the viability of the space. So this idea of the preservation of Accra and building small local government areas actually is counterproductive. So you probably need a larger space, which is strange, because I thought if you give somebody a smaller space to manage, it's easier than a larger space. But it turns out that if you give the person a smaller space, the quality of people reduces.
Quality of people reduces, and then for us, the bigger problem is coherence. See? Because what we now have is over 40 or 50 different ways of developing Accra, Accra is not that big. If you look at it in terms of its landmass, Accra is not that big. So to divide it into the arenas in which it has been divided, and for all these arenas to have a very different way, because the personality of Ablikuma West is not the personality of Ablikuma Central or Ablikuma South. Okay, and that means the way in which Ablikuma West wants to look is not perhaps the way they feel Ablikuma Central or Ablikuma South should look. And so you have an area that shares a border but on two very different planes of development.
Yeah.
Okay, in the same capital city.
Let's go back to the issue of selection. You know, I want to speak to Freddie Tete of the EC, who's been, you know, some people want us to vote for MCEs on partisan basis, and they think that that's the missing link for local government. You know, that's a big discussion. In fact, when the president met the Constitutional Review team, he said to them that one of the things that they should consider is the issue of voting for our MMDCEs, Metropolitan Municipality Chief Executives. Does the research show that that's the way to go to give us better development? How do we get better quality power assembly? Mr. Tete, thanks for joining us. So as we speak, the local government elections are on non-partisan basis. Is that correct?
Yes, Bernard.
So
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so that means that from unit committee to assemblyman, they don't have to belong to a political party.
Exactly so.
And then, as a consequence, the turnout is much lower than when political parties organize elections. Is that the thinking?
Exactly. After 1994, 1998, the turnout has never gone beyond 50%. Whereas for general elections, it has never come down less than 50%. So it's the opposite.
Now, so how does the EC do this? When you open nominations, people just basically apply. Do you do any background checks? Do they have to have any qualification? So if I want to be a unit committee member for, say, now here I am in what do you call it, Adabraka, Odona. So if I want to be one of the 5 unit committee members, what do I need to do? What do I need to know? Do I need to have any qualification?
Well, the basic qualification is what is stated in the CI 89. And when you look at it carefully, it's so minimal. It's so minimal, and it extends to even the assemblymen. And when you look at the recent Council of State elections, it has gone further to that. So you can have, sorry to say, maybe 30-something, a youth 30-something-year-old person entering into the Council of State to advise the president. I'm not saying that that's wrong. That's a kind of structure that we have at the moment, and it needs a total overhaul of our legal legislations. I think specifically I want to talk about the assembly issue.
Yes, go ahead.
What you were discussing, I agree with what the professor that you spoke with said in his concluding remarks. We need people in the assemblies of a higher caliber. So when you go to many of the Western countries, yes, the laws are there, but the criteria to qualify to be an assemblyman and to the extent of even being a DCE, we must have some kind of criteria. And I felt there is the need for individuals, so I even wanted to even write a memo to the Constitutional Review Committee regarding the qualification to the Council of State. We can't leave it the way it is.
So are you saying that if it's just a citizenship and age and sanity qualification, it's too open-ended, and therefore the people who get in are not fit for purpose because voting cannot determine quality? So the quality control must begin from the criteria stated in the law, so that even if you get 3 people contesting, we know that at least those 3 people, whoever wins is good for the work. As against just saying he's 18, he's sane, he can vote, and therefore he can run for whatever.
Exactly. You see, I was in Rwanda for, I think, about 3 months or so, and I was staying around the Grand Mall Hotel area. And when I returned from Rwanda, coming back to Ghana, when I drive around the streets of Ghana, and I look at Accra, I said, what? In terms of infrastructure, we have it. The question is our neatness, keeping our environment clean. And how do they do it? We don't have to go specifically to copy what Rwanda is doing. But I think we can go back. Some time ago, we have this Saturdays cleaning something. It's the same thing that they are doing in Uganda. Okay, so if we are electing district chief executives with some criteria, and it's even based on political party basis, okay, if we open it to politics. But there should be criteria. You should have some background, either engineering, something. Okay, so that the people that we are going to elect to those positions as district chief executives and assemblymen, they will bring their skills and then their competence on board. And you know, Bernard, as I was listening to the discussions with you and then, is it Black Chinese?
Yes, Godfrey. Black Chinese, yes.
Yes. You see, something interesting came up. You see, if we elect district chief executives, and you are citing the case of Shente, assuming that we elect somebody like that, and we allow him or her to come on board with his technocrats to the assembly to help him, it will also reflect in helping whoever is going to be the member of parliament. Because if your constituency or your district is clean, the adjoining district will also be looking at you. Okay? And it will be a competition. Sometimes when I look at this league table of district with I ask myself, what is it the criteria or always should be revenue? No. Okay? So if we have competent DCEs elected with some criteria to assemblies and they are manning the process, they own their allegiance and their tenure to the electorate, the people, and not to anybody up there. You see, so when you cite the case of Ablekuma Central, the Fadama area that we were talking about, Bagbobloshi place, when you look at it carefully, it falls within the domain of the Ablekuma Central Assembly. Okay, so if you have a district chief executive who has a background in some kind of civil engineering, or he understands if he's sacking people there with authority because we have the laws.
Yeah, but okay? Mr. Tete,
he doesn't look at his shoulders, behind his shoulders, who is to report to or who is telling him not to do the right thing.
So isn't it then better for the system of selection to be used instead of election? Because, for example, there's a new government in power. They've had like 60-something days. They can then scout and say who in Ablekuma Central has the qualification to do this job or the experience to do this job that in a way that will work. Because if you say you are using an election criteria, even if you said the person must have a master's degree or the person must be literate or whatever, voting is such that it's never a logical process. You can choose somebody because it's popular, but it's incompetent. And in fact, not all our MPs are necessarily helping. So it looks to me as if in Ghana, when we see a problem, we try and solve it using just one side without thinking about the other. So now people are saying, let's vote for our MMDCs because of the problem of accountability. But you have raised the issue of competence. Voting doesn't deal with competence. And competence is better done if a leadership team can select somebody who they know can do the work. But you can't have it both ways. If you are just going to allow people to vote, a lot of technocrats will not want to go and do elections. So, for example, if I'm a town and country planner, or I am a development professional, or I'm somebody with leadership track record, I may not want to go and do politics to vote because I don't have money and I don't want people to come and be insulting me. You get it? So, in a way, the system we have created does not really solve our problem.
But I don't think selection will be the best. Because selection, when you select people, whoever is going to select people or appoint those people, they will owe their allegiance and whatever to that person. The best way to go, like you're saying, if I'm living in Tema West, where I stay, okay, and I felt that the fields and then the lackadaisical people positioning containers everywhere, and I'm living within that environment, and I'm feeling the pain and the filth and those things over there, don't you think I'll offer myself for elections if I qualify by the criteria? I think God fled with you in Dansoman. When it comes to the crunch and he felt that, look, I have to take the bull by the horn. You will stand for election for him to be elected. And you see, I made mention of the fact that even if we are not getting competent people across board, we will get specific competent people coming out to be elected in certain assemblies, and people will be looking up to them. When you were doing the caravan, you talk of the cleanliness in the Volta region. Yes, I've been frequenting the Volta region, and I see it. So it will be the same way. People, there was going to be a competition among districts that are clean, districts that are doing very well, and people will be looking to them. So you may not get competent people across board, but with elections, you will get, just like you do for the MPs. When I give you the list of you selecting your best MPs, you will come out to specific names.
All right, so Mr. Tete, can you suggest a possible, so let's use the DC as an example. Is it possible to suggest a list of criteria that a good DCE should meet? So obviously he's above a certain age, he lives in that area, or he can vote in that area, whatever. Should, for example, he be a degree holder? Will that help? Should he have experience in town and country planning or some leadership role? I mean, because it's such a broad area of leadership that I'm not sure if, or can you give me any country examples where they say for running counties, will you say people who are academics or whatever? I don't know. Can you suggest anything?
For now, I'm driving, so but I think when you look at how President Kufuor picked Mr. Is it Ajay Blankson?
Yes, Ajay Blankson was the mayor of Accra.
Exactly. Ajay Blankson, I think, worked in UK in a similar kind of environment. Okay, so if we get people with certain, like you mentioned, those are some of the things I will be looking for. Okay, you must have a first degree. You must be maybe somebody in the field of kind of development, project planning, some planning related kind of environment, so that we should look at those kind of criteria. Like I said, I decided to be part of this discussion, and in terms of the criteria, we should be able to sit down with the Institute of Local Government, come out to something, and then that should be the basis for electing people as DCs and probably even assemblymen.
Thank you.
You know, many of our laws, when you look at it, the assembly laws and all those things, were so kind of open to allow people to come in. But now our democracy is maturing, and therefore we must move a little bit higher in terms of the people who must contest for certain positions.
Thank you so much for your insights, Fred Tete, Director, Deputy for Research at the EC. We're trying to think about how to change things, and I think most listeners of this radio program believe that local governance is important. What we are trying to figure out is how to go about it. Is it the voting that solved the problem? Is it some criteria for people to qualify? And all this is happening around the time that the Constitution Review Committee is working. So I hope they are listening, or probably send them clips of this. You've sent in very many text messages. When we come back, we'll read some of them. How do we design governance to produce better outcomes? That's really the topic for the morning. Stay with us.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
First impressions matter. Make yours unforgettable with the irresistible scent of Princess Body Mist and Roll-On. Designed for every lady who wants to leave a lasting impression wherever she goes. And for our gentlemen, there is Style Up Perfume and Roll-On. Elevate your presence with a confident, masculine fragrance that keeps you dry and fresh all day. Because your fragrance should speak before you do, use Princess Body Mist and Roll-On and Style Up Perfume and Roll-On. Your daily essentials for smelling good from dawn till dusk. Princess and Style Up. Smell good and feel great together. The GC brand. It's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey.
So what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It'd be very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, massa, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement. Unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody gets on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrade, and Buipe, or call 0244-313-368 or 0540-111-978 or 0202-021-175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
Every day when my children return from school, I don't recognize them all. Hello, do I know you?
It's Mommy.
But these dirty, sweaty uniforms and socks were clean in the morning. Hey, everything has transformed. I understand though. School is hectic. It takes energy to come home this transformed. So I make sure they have some Milo at breakfast.
Your champs need nourishment and energy. Give them the Milo Energy at breakfast. Now with vitamin D that supports energy release to help their daily performance. Milo, energy to go further. Milo! This advert is FDA approved.
Hi, Mom, it's me, Kwame.
Hey, Kwame. How are you?
Mom, I'm fine, oh.
Okay.
You know something?
No, tell me.
I'm looking for a complete furniture set for my new place.
Kwame, I've told you before, the only one place you should go, eh?
Yeah, Mom, but I need a mattress to fit my bed.
Ash foam.
I need a bed to fit my room.
Ash foam.
What about a sofa where it go relax my body?
Ash foam.
Wardrobes to fit all my clothes?
Ash foam.
What about linens and pillows for sweet dreams?
Kwame. Ash foam.
Mommy, I feel you. Ash foam all the way.
For mattresses to beds, sofas, wardrobes, linens, pillows, and more, don't waste time and visit any Ash foam showroom across the country or call our hotline at 0243 200 729. Ash foam. Feel it, know it.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
All right, so it's 5 minutes to time. Could you go for it? So this is my concern. A lot of people listening to the show are saying that they agree with what we are saying. So how come we are still in a minority in Ghana? You know,
just lawless.
We need to work on getting more people to think like this like the way we are thinking.
Let me go through some messages.
Before we do that, have you ever felt like the best products made in Africa are hidden, just like Africa's finest treasures? Well, let me tell you, Afro Quality just changed the game. They've brought together incredible, authentically African products under one roof, celebrating our creativity, excellence, and pride. From beautifully crafted, ready-to-wear fashion, straight from Ghana, Kenya, Rwanda, to running shoes from Kenya, South Africa, and even South Sudan, Afro Quality brings the best of Africa together under one roof. Find them at East Legon on the Labawalesi American House Road, right on top of Say Cheers. You can also call 055-339-2345 or check us out on Instagram at Afro Quality. Afro Quality, because you deserve the finest.
Well, messages. This one says, not going too far. Right at the junction towards City FM, it's a Kaswa Trotro station. The whole lane has cars packed, making it very difficult to get on the main road.
Opposite the Adabaka market.
Market, yes. Yeah, right here. It's a complaint I've made.
You complained about this before.
Yes. So bad. Good morning, guys. I am Nenebi from Tema Newtown. The lack of the rules of law to work without fear or favor is because of votes and family lines. Oh, DJ Fire, good morning. He's from Adenta. He says, Bernard and Goffred, I firmly believe that investing in train transportation is the solution to our current transportation woes. Our population has outgrown our existing mass transportation infrastructure, resulting in undue pressure on our roads. To address this issue, I propose that the government invest heavily in developing our road network. Specifically, 1. Construct rail lines along major roads. This will provide an alternative mode of transportation and alleviate congestion on our roads. Build underground train lines in populated areas. This will not only reduce traffic congestion but also minimize the impact of train lines on existing infrastructure. 3. Convert all roundabouts into interchanges. This will improve traffic flow and reduce congestion at key intersections. Okay. Hi, Citi FM. Ben, good morning.
Morning.
Let us reason with this as a country and see. Do we want quality of people voted into assembly positions with voter statistics, or we want quality people voted into office with fewer numbers and still have our members in office? Those calling for political infiltration in assembly elections to make us have... I don't understand the message, Francis. It's a bit strange for me. Bernard and Goffred, So you want to believe Ghana will work? Yes. If you want to understand Ghana, work in the public sector. Until the public sector gets it right, Ghana will remain what it is, always complaining, and one day everything will explode. Kwesi Ajiman from Dodowa is not very happy with Ghana. Please. The way we politicize everything is our problem. The assemblies play a major role in this. Look, I've worked with one of the assemblies and it's very frustrating. The assemblymen and women connive with the technocrats to do dubious deals. Most of the chief executives are illiterates. I work with assemblies and all that the chief executive knows is to approve documents that appear on his desk. They surround themselves with foot soldiers who know nothing about proper management. This is Kweku from La.
The directors and the MFOs are very corrupt
in the assemblies, yes. Good morning, City. Yeah, from someone says, Ghana needs CCTV and 24-hour proper surveillance that will prevent people from selling in unauthorized spaces. Okay, this one's from Bologna in Italy. Buongiorno, Isaac. Can we as a nation make a provision in our electoral process whereby even if a party wins all the votes in these areas, it will not have significant impact on the election? I think this will prevent these politicians from doing politics with it. Because you will definitely step on somebody's toes if you really want to bring change. And that's what politicians don't want. Good morning.
Morning.
As a people, we lack discipline and integrity. We want the right thing so long as we can have it our way. A person wrongly locates their kiosk and we say the person must make ends meet. Then we should leave armed robbers to alone. Bernard and team.
Morning.
The bane of Ghana is politics. Sometimes I am inclined towards the idea of military rule. It appears everyone has given up on the system and has left Ghana to its fate. Every serious station has a national development model it abides by, irrespective of the political party in power. Leadership has failed Ghana, and this is attributable to the Ponzi scholarship scheme Ghana operates with. Square pegs are scrupulously favored to go abroad to study. These people come back home and lord it over the taxpayer under the guise of political leadership. Let me just take one more before Sheba comes in with the news at 10. Bernard, the core issue we face in Ghana lies in the quality of individuals within our local government structure. This is not just an isolated problem, but a systemic one, deeply rooted in our societal and cultural dynamic. In Ghana, it often seems that competent, serious-minded individuals avoid engaging in local governance or politics, leaving these spaces to those who may lack the vision, integrity, or capability to drive meaningful development. This creates a cycle of inefficiency, poor decision making, and a lack of accountability, which ultimately hampers progress. Until we address this fundamental issue and encourage more capable and dedicated individuals to participate in governance, our challenges will persist. It is a Ghanaian problem that requires a Ghanaian solution, a shift in mindset, and a collective effort to prioritize competence and integrity in our leadership. This one comes from Martin.
A good place to end. Thank you, Godfred. This morning has been, I hope it's not just been lamentations. Well, we have a new team in place. Let's pray and encourage them to get the right people to lead our assemblies. It will be a good starting point for change. So NDC government, give us good people at the local level to lead the transformation, to lead the reset agenda. That's what we all want. Thanks for listening. We'll now break into the news at 10. Shibaraba Bening has the details. Good morning, Shiba.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello and welcome. I Am Sheba, Araba, Benin. Coming up, fire destroys several shops and property in Eduma